It's time for grassroots racers and fans to gather round. Welcome to the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks for joining us for our landmark 40th season. We are your destination for news and interviews within the Wisconsin racing scene, the upper Midwest, and from the world of motorsports. The Racing Roundup Show is America's longest running weekly motorsports show held in front of a live audience. You still have time to join the racing crowd for tonight's show. And now, here is the host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
Hey everybody, how are you? Thanks for coming down on this Tuesday evening. It's June 25th and it's time to get down to business. Lots to talk about here. A lot of rain in the area, but we do have some racing to talk about and some great guests here tonight to join us, including World of Outlaw Sprint Car point leader David Gravel will be on with us via live video. Dirt Sport Mod racer Jason Schilling is here with his race car. Slinger B's driver Matthew Wandry, his best finish yet was Sunday Night Slinger. We're celebrating that with his friends and his crew. His car's out front here at Polly's Pub and Eatery as well. Also, we have Hall of Fame photographer Dave Olson here with us. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're talking to Dave about a bunch of stories just before the show. You'll hear some of those on the show, and he said he might even have questions for me, which is really kind of scary. So we'll figure out how that's all going to play out here on the program. Hey, Bill Helland's here too. He's going to talk about a lot of grassroots racers that got their chance to race on the Milwaukee Mile as we go in the groove with Bill Helland here in a few moments. I'd like to remind you to watch our Saturday TV show. The Racing Roundup TV show airs Saturdays at 11:30 a.m. on CW18 in Milwaukee. It's every Saturday, 11:30 in the morning, half an hour of our show. Hopefully we get a bunch of people come to the racetrack, watching our program and saying, hey, I want to know more about Jason Schilling. What's that kid up to? Hey, this David Gravel guy, he's racing in Wisconsin. He's racing at Wilmot when again? July 12th? That'd be kind of cool. I want to find out more about it. That's part of what we do for that show, so we want to make sure you're part of that as well. So join us on Saturdays at 11:30 on CW18 in Milwaukee for our Saturday half-hour TV show. We also want to remind you our show is live on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube. Make sure you like our page and subscribe, and love to have you as part of that audience. And we also broadcast it right through our website, racingroundupshow.com, so you can actually see our sponsors, see our show, look at our archives on our programs from years ago up through last week. We got them all here for you. Racingroundupshow.com is where you can find that. We also like to thank our sponsors that make this 40th season possible. We have TV sponsors. We have show sponsors. We got great people that are stepping up saying, how can I help? Thank you, Automatic Transmission Design, for being involved for so long. Danny Litch's Bar and Grill. We're going there August 13th for Bonafide Night. We want to thank them for their involvement. American Foundation Specialists. Thank you, Ziders. They stepped up in a huge way. Bonafide Security Solutions and Making Memories Travel. Just some of the people that are making this show possible. So thank you to those sponsors. Please support them. Again, their logos, their links are on our webpage, racingroundupshow.com. And make sure you tell them you heard or saw it here on our program. We got a lot to cover, a lot to get to. We're coming right back with Bill Helland on the program. He's leading off with us on this Tuesday night, June 25th. We're live at Polly's Pub and Eatery. Come on down and join the racing crowd. Lots of giveaways after the show, as always. We'll hope to see you shortly here at Polly's. We'll be right back after these messages on the Racing Roundup Show.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Roundup Show. Check out our website, racingroundupshow.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors.
Property with professional landscaping from Central Services Company Incorporated. The team at Central Services is their personal choice of over 45 years of satisfied customers in Southeast Wisconsin for landscape design, construction, and grounds maintenance. Call Central Services at 262-548-0005 for all your landscaping and lawn care needs. No job is too large or too small. From lawn fertilization and weed control to award-winning landscape construction and building your backyard patio oasis, Central Services is your full-service landscape company. Call the experts at Central Services at 262-548-0005 for a free, no-obligation consultation at your home or business. Find out why Central Services can provide you with the visual difference in the art of landscaping and lawn care. Call 262-548-0005. Central Services, the visual difference in landscaping.
For your next purge or project, go with the pros. Source Services. Champion driver and Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Famer Dan Source founded Source Services in 1988 with one truck, one employee, and a tireless work ethic. Through the dedicated work of Dan and his employees, Source Services LLC is Southeastern Wisconsin's leading waste container rental company. Dropped and picked up by professionals, you can rent a dumpster for up to 60 days. Source Services sorts and recycles to reduce the amount of waste going into landfills. Go with the pros at sourceservices.com. Adams Towing offers expert heavy-duty towing services for the entire state of Wisconsin from their Plover headquarters. Since 1961, 3 generations of heavy-duty towing specialists and racing supporters have provided towing, flatbed, and reload service, plus winching and upright, long boom service, truck starting, and cleanup. Adams Towing proudly sponsors Ryan Farrell's Super Late Model team. Put Adams Towing and their experienced team and their fleet of heavy-duty tow trucks and rollbacks to work for you. Call Adams Towing today at 715-344-3836.
And now to Cruise Alaska with Making Memories Travel next September. Enjoy an unforgettable 7-day Alaskan cruise from Vancouver on the Norwegian Jade. Juneau and Hubbard Glacier are just 2 of the cities that await you. Hike up snow-capped mountains and witness majestic whales splash in the Pacific. Then come back on board to catch an amazing show, followed by a starlit stroll on the top deck. Breathtaking views, all the amenities, all the memories. Cruise Alaska. Contact Mark at Making Memories Travel today.
Like our show on Facebook and share our content with other race fans. We hope to see you at one of our upcoming shows too. Join racers, other race fans, and win prizes. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Welcome back to our program on this Tuesday evening. Looking forward to seeing you at a racetrack very soon. If you have a chance to head out to the racetrack and you happen to see our own Bill Howland hanging out, make sure you stop by and say hi. Bill's everywhere. We'll talk to Bill in a moment about how he gets to enjoy covering all the short track racing he does here in the state of Wisconsin. This segment is brought to you by Rapina Group, Caldwell Banker Home Sale Realty. If you're looking to buy or sell a home or commercial property, list and buy with confidence, higher knowledge. Knowledge is power. It's all about what Matt Rapina and his group can do. Rapina Group is a Caldwell Banker Home Sale Realty company that can get your deal done. Not all realtors are the same. Choose Caldwell Banker Home Sale Realty and sell your house with the Rapina Group. Their website, visit rapinagroup.com. We now welcome back into our program a gentleman sitting next to me. It's kind of nice to have you here more often than I realized we'd have you this year, Bill. You've been everywhere, and you're back again this week. How you doing?
Yeah, this is working out great. Having a lot of fun.
The weather really affected a lot of racing this past weekend, but fortunately we had 2 big race weekends, 2 races and a big weekend prior to this weekend. You got the chance to cover some racing. So it's kind of neat. You can have some time, right? Even if the weather doesn't cooperate with your schedule.
It worked out great that we could take a little extra time to do, I think, a solid piece on the Father's Day 100 at the mile. I mean, we're right next door to this wonderful racetrack, and this event is a really important chapter in the long-running story of the Milwaukee Mile. You know, started in 2019, and 5 years later, still going strong.
Yeah, and it's a big deal because, you had Ty Gibbs and Sammy Smith. They've won the Arkham and Art Series races here. That's part of the NASCAR weekend. But that was the signature event until we got NASCAR trucks here. So it really is a building process, as you mentioned, since 2019 with Track Enterprises doing all of that work and all that going forward. Tell you what, we're not going to keep you in suspense any longer. We're leading off with Bill Howland in the group tonight from the Milwaukee Mile. We'll talk to Bill coming out of that about where he hopes to be this weekend when it's nice and dry and the sun's shining. We're going racing again on the short tracks in Wisconsin. Here's this week's In the Groove with Bill Howland at the Milwaukee Mile.
Hi, I'm Bill Holland in the Groove at the famous Milwaukee Mile, America's oldest speedway, home of the ASA Stars National Tour Father's Day 100. This race special in so many ways, bringing some of the top super late model drivers in America to Milwaukee. 2-time defending race winner Ty Majeski leads the field into this year's Father's Day 100. The 2023 Stars Tour champ, less than 48 hours removed from his win in the Tour's Capital 200 Friday at Madison.
A lot of people are coming for us. They, I know Campy and Toby are good friends, and they joke around a lot, and they said they're coming for us this year, so we got to be on our A game.
Mississippi's Casey Roderick comes in as the Tour point leader. He ran second to Majeski at Madison.
They've got something figured out that really no one else has, and we're all chasing that for sure. You definitely can't count them out on any race, whether it's up here or down south.
A hard crash Friday night took Cole Butcher out of the race lead and the series point lead. The Nova Scotia natives looking for better things at the mile.
Yeah, we'll just do the best we can. I know Casey's been really good. He's been really consistent all year, so we just look forward to just getting back on track.
For fellow Canadian Kyle Steckley, it's 3 races in 3 places this weekend.
Well, we got the doubleheader here in Wisconsin, but we thought we'd make it a little more difficult going back home for me in Peterborough, Ontario. So going to fly back there tonight and run 100 laps in the APC United Late Model Series, and then come back here tomorrow and do 100 laps at Milwaukee.
2-time Rockford Speedway National Short Track Champion Austin Nason won this race in 2019.
When we won it last time, we built a brand new car, and we just built another brand new car to come here. So hopefully we can do what we did back in 2019. Same kind of deal. We got the same base setup, same car.
Ohio's Albert Francis knows the speed here is unlike any other track on the Stars Tour.
It honestly feels like you're going slower here because it's big. The only time you notice the speed is when you're feeling the aero changes when you're behind people.
ASA Midwest Tour champ Gabe Summers knows the speed at Milwaukee means special preparation before race day.
Safety is huge here. Speeds are really high, so that's one of our top priorities, and body bracing, make sure nothing flies off when you're going down the straightaways.
NASCAR driver Derek Kraus is here, his dad Mark alongside.
He's been at every single race of mine, so it's really cool to be able to race with him and do everything together with him. This is kind of our thing that we like to go do and spend time with each other.
For Waterford, Wisconsin veteran Jeff Storm, it's a new number, getting the call Saturday night to drive for the Donnie Wilson racing team.
Ty Fredrickson was running for them. He had a pretty bad wreck yesterday, and he's fine, but precautionary-wise, they don't feel like he should run, so I'm going to run 24 for him today.
The Midwest Truck Series features the first race of the afternoon, wheeling the 73 former ASA standout and NASCAR Truck Series driver Scott Hansen.
23 years, I believe, since I've been here. You'd think it's the same, but the patches, the new asphalt on the bottom, totally different racetrack to me.
Watertown, Wisconsin's Derek Dorr in the 31 and former Series Rookie of the Year Kevin Zilozinski in the 38 on the front row as the truckers take the green flag. The trucks have been part of this Father's Day race program at the mile since the first year in 2019, and they do not disappoint. 25 laps, 25 miles. Plenty of time to get to the front if you have the truck to get there. We have a caution early, and it's an early end to Scott Hansen's run after trouble in turn 4. Back to green flag racing, and we've got a real battle for the lead between rookie standout Jacob Nottestad in the 97 and Chester Ace in the 93. Ace won this race a year ago, and the Oregon-Wisconsin drivers looking to go back-to-back. Nottestad's not giving up the lead without a fight, and Eugene Gregorich III is right there in third, ready to make his move. Coming to the checkers, Ace has the 93 out front, and he will hold off the young guns. Chester Ace wins his second straight Midwest Truck Series feature at Milwaukee. In the Upper Midwest Vintage feature, Jason ends under caution. Franksville, Wisconsin's Jeff Holtz declared the winner after Scotty Gardner's 13 car failed post-race tech. We're ready to go for 100 laps in the 5th running of this event. Series President Bob Sargent on why this race and this place are part of the Stars National Tour.
We tried to pick premier racetracks in the United States, and this one just ranks right up there. I mean, it's the Milwaukee Mile, the history, but even other than that, they've really kept the place up nice. It's well prepared, the grandstands are nice, the concession amenities, things like that. So it's just a nice place to come, and that's what our guys like.
Casey Roderick in the 26 and Cole Butcher in the 28 car lead the field to green for the first of 100 laps. Rain this morning washed out qualifying, so the starting lineup is based on the series point standings. Roderick came into today on top of the standings. He's looking to build on a strong run Friday night at Madison. But look at this. Ty Majeski's made his way from the 4th row. Majeski will take the lead from Roderick and go on to win the first 35-lap stage. Close racing early in the 2nd stage. Roderick in the 26, Gio Ruggiero in the 22, Cole Butcher's 28 car. Contact and the 22 goes around. Caution flies. Back to green flag racing. and Ty Majeski's out in front of the field with Dawson Sutton second in the white 26 car. Midwest Tour champ Gabe Summers up to third, Roderick in fourth. Butcher, Caden Quapple, and Billy Van Mater all giving chase. Jeff Storm got the call to drive the Wilson 24 car last night. He's gunning for a top 10 finish, racing with Eddie McDonald in the 17. Ty Majeski's won both stages, leading most of the race. But as the laps wind down, Dawson Sutton's hanging in there with the 91. Sutton, 18 years old, out of Lebanon, Tennessee. He's not going away. He's right there with the race leader. Majeski gunning for his third win in the Father's Day 100, trying to hang on. The 91 goes high. Sutton makes the pass. This is storybook stuff. Dawson Sutton, in only his first season in super late models, trying to hold off one of the best in the business. It's Sutton, first of the checkers, winner of the ASA Stars National Tour Father's Day 100.
I started racing 2.5 years ago, so I'm still pretty new, actually. Raced legend cars and started moving up to the Pro Late Model division and ran all over the place last year in the Pro Late Models and just found my way into a super and a truck this year, and we're just making starts and learning, and it seems like we're getting better and better every race.
It's a safe bet. A lot of the people here at the mile today had never heard of Dawson Sutton, but he introduced himself to Milwaukee and to the Stars National Tour in a big way today. I'm Bill Holland. Thanks for watching, and thanks to everyone who makes this program possible. We'll see you next time we go in the groove on the Racing Roundup Show.
That's going to be handed to Bill Holland. Great report once again, Bill. Thanks again for all that effort, getting all those drivers, and it's a labor of love, no question. You enjoy this, don't you?
I appreciate the opportunity, Jim. I really do.
So one added note to this was, if you didn't hear already, Dawson Sutton's motor was taken after the race. So was Ty Majeski's motor. They were completely different kinds of engines. The McGonigal engine was in the sealed motor condition that Majeski was driving, and also Dawson Sutton had a Hamner parts engine, so a built motor. Both of them went to the engine shop in Tennessee. Wednesday of last week, they found Majeski's engine was over spec by a little bit, so they bounced him. They gave him DQ. The engine builder, McGonigal, said, it's my fault. I rebuilt that engine after the Snowball Derby teardown. I should have been more particular about certain things. I'll take the blame. Majeski and the team, however, got docked all the points they earned during the race and were given last place in points. I don't know if they got any money or not. So bad break for them, but Dawson Sutton's engine was okay. And that kid, man, he was smiling. I saw him, I think it's 2 hours after the race. He was still smiling, and that team had a deserved win with a better handling race car. And I'm telling you, man, that was impressive. I was calling it for the stream for tracktv.com, and you may be able to watch it, I think, this coming Monday on MAV TV, on the MAV TV's Short Track All-American Racing. They cover all sorts of short track racing on Monday nights. Monday's race this past week was the Madison race, so I'm guessing we're in queue for this coming Monday. You can watch the Milwaukee Mile race, not as cool as Bill did it, but you can watch the whole race and hear me talk for a long time on that broadcast with Scott Hansen, of all people. So it's kind of fun to have Scott on. So when all those things gel and all things go right, you're still one guy, one camera, one microphone, Bill. That's pretty incredible. Where are you going this weekend?
State Park Speedway on Thursday night, weather permitting. The Flip Merwin Memorial is a race that's near and dear to my heart. He was, for folks who don't know, a world-class snowmobile racer that we lost in 2003, and he was my closest friend in that world in ice oval snowmobile racing. This is the 21st year of the Flip Merwin Memorial. Unless I break down on the highway, I don't miss that race.
Oh, yeah. And I remember Flip going to the Wimmer Brothers stock car races, and they would always support him when he ran his snowmobile racing. But you have done, how many years have you covered snowmobile racing intently as part of what you do? In the off-season, we call it, when we're not racing on the ovals and the road courses around here.
Well, the first big project I was involved with was at the Eagle River Derby, and that was back in '98.
Okay.
So it's a while. I've spent a lot of birthdays in January freezing in Eagle River.
Well, we hope to see some of that coverage on our Racing Roundup show. Maybe on the YouTube channel, we'll get people kind of geeked up with a little sampling of what Bill does when he's not covering racing during what we call our season, which is April through September or into October, when things get really cooking and get a little cooler on the cool side. But that doesn't seem to stop you at all, Bill. You just love doing this year-round.
It's an abbreviated snowmobile season for me.
Okay.
The World Championship in Eagle River, that is a given.
Yeah.
And the Wausau race is a big race. It has grown, inspired by Flip Merwin. His father built that race, and it's now been taken over by the USSA, the United States Snowmobile Association. So those are two big marquee weekends for me that are consistent year in, year out.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And you know a lot of people in that world, so it's kind of neat that we get access to that because we hang out with cool people like Bill Helen. Bill, thanks again for being part of the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks a lot. We're taking a commercial break. When we come back, we're talking short track race. We've got Jason Schilling here. We've got Matthew Wander here. We've got Dave Olson here. We've got a lot of cool things to talk about on the program. Derek Crane is here as well. And we got David Gravel lined up on a video call here before the show's over. So if you have a chance, come on down and join us. We're at Polly's Pub and Eatery, 81st and Greenfield in West Dallas. We're live tonight. After the show, we have giveaways, including Summerfest tickets, thanks to our friend Dave Kircher with Motorsports Milwaukee. He handed us a bunch of tickets for that, so that's added to the stash. We just got that in, so you never know what you can win here tonight after the show. Stick around. We'll be right back with more on the Racing Roundup Show.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Share what you love about short track racing on our Facebook page and on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We'll be right back with more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment is a fully equipped parts, sales, and service dealer of quality mowers, snow throws, trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Olson services what they sell, does warranty service work on big box store mowers, and their expert service technicians are ready to get your equipment running right. Put their stock parts department and friendly, knowledgeable staff to work for you. Visit the racers at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment today at 14323 West College Avenue, just 1 mile east of Moreland Road in Muskego. Olson'sPower.com. Olson's Power Equipment.
ARR has been recycling for over 80 years and is here to help. Take them your recyclable metals and they'll pay you cash. ARR buys aluminum, brass, copper, lead, and steel. And attention contractors, ARR has a bonus program just for you that puts more cash in your pocket. And who doesn't like more cash? Find their full list of accepted materials at ARR1938.com. ARR with locations in West Dallas and Waukesha. If you have questions, give them a call. 414-321-4134. ARR Recycling since 1938.
Preparing and installing new asphalt pavement takes time and expertise. Making the Cut is ready to take on your next paving project. From start to finish, maintain, repair, or new paving for your home or business, the Racer's Choice is Making the Cut Asphalt Services. Making the Cut also offers patchwork, crack fill, and seal coat maintenance services. No matter the job size, across Wisconsin, Making the Cut Asphalt Services is ready to roll with their team of experts. To request a free estimate, visit mtcasphalt.com or call 414-750-2525 today.
427-1000 American Foundation. Cracks and leaks in your basement, have no fears. We've been fixing those things for over 60 years. Trust and dedication, that's American Foundation.
Call American right now for huge savings.
427-1000 American Foundation.
When we decided to get our crack leaky basement done, I am so glad we called American Foundation. It gave us a sense of confidence, and it gave us our basement back.
And it was the right choice.
Thank you very much. American Foundation Specialist has been fixing basements since 1947. Satisfied customers are the future at American. Call American for huge savings at
427-1000 American Foundation.
Precise Auto and Truck Accessories is your one-stop shop when it comes to adding style and functionality to your vehicles. Owner and late model racer Mike Grunberg has 15 years of experience installing window tinting, cat skin leather, seat heaters and seat coolers. There's a million accessories available. Ladder racks, trailer hitches, detailing, remote starters, and more. Precise Auto and Truck Accessories in Wisconsin Dells is a WeatherTech Diamond dealer. Bring your vehicle to the trusted guy, Mike Grunberg at Precise Auto and Truck Accessories.
The Racing Roundup Show is dedicated to showcasing grassroots racers and national stars of our sport. If you're a fan of NASCAR, four-wheel, two-wheel, road racing, drag racing, or the short track scene, you are in the right place. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show.
Looking forward to seeing you join us on a Tuesday night. Next Tuesday, July 2nd, we're going to be live at Wilmot Raceway, 5 p.m. start time. It's a special D'Angelo's Construction Road Show brought to you by CK Contractors. It's on a race night at Wilmot Raceway. They're going to have wingless sprints, wind crate sprints, and more. There's also carload night, $30 to get in. Anybody has a seatbelt, come on in, $30 the whole carload. And there's fireworks next Tuesday. Join us at Wilmot for our show on the road, thanks to our friends at DeAngelis Construction and CK Contractors. This portion of the show is brought to you by BMR Electric Carts in Random Lake. Icon e-bikes go 25 miles per hour in speed and 25 miles between charges. And now selling Be Cooler on a BMR electric scooter. And there's also street legal golf carts in stock. Brad Miller is Wisconsin's only Icon electric cart dealer and has in-stock inventory and customizing options available right now on their Facebook page. Get a hold of them there. Let's search BMR Electric Carts Company. It's time to remind you also about stocking up on Victory Fuel. 6-time Chili Bowl Midget Nationals driver, owner, and champion Kevin Swindell has made this stuff. It's tasty good. 2 flavors here, 2 on the way. We're giving away a few back cans after the show tonight, but if you want to stock up on your own, I got a special way to do it. 10% off by going to drinkvictory.com at checkout, which will be shipped right to your door. Type in the word show as the promo code, and you save 10% on your order. And all that money that you save actually goes to helping other racers with our show. So I'm just going to say it right now. It's delicious. It's good. And if you want some Victory Fuel, go to drinkvictory.com. And at checkout, save 10% by using the code SHOW, S-H-O-W, at checkout. It's also kind of time to tell you that we got a bunch of stuff to give away tonight. We mentioned the Summerfest tickets. Thank you, Dave, with Motorsports Milwaukee. We got 10 pairs of those. All right. A set of 4 race tickets to Dells Raceway Park. It's a great entertainment every Saturday night. This Saturday is a live for 5. 100 lapper pays $5,000 to win. Car washes from Full Service Car Wash. I got 2 of those to give away tonight after the show. They're an original 3rd-generation, locally family-owned and operated Milwaukee small business since 1986. Unlimited car washes start at $14.99 a month. Their locations for full-service car washes, the best deal for keeping your car clean, are in Hales Corners, Wauwatosa, Grafton, and West Bend. We have racing T-shirts, die-cast cars, racing hats, and collectibles from Greenfield Gallery on Facebook, where they're always buying racing collections. You never know what you're going to find. As a prize to give away tonight, we got some more cool stuff that I didn't tell you about. So come on down and join us after every Tuesday show here at Polly's. We got giveaways after the program. And it's going to be a lot of fun to join us next Tuesday at Wilmot. And the next Tuesday after that, July 9th, we're at the front gate at the Slinger Nationals. Looking forward to seeing you there. Thanks to our friends at Keith's Marina and Oak Creek Automotive for bringing us that DeAngelis Construction Road Show. All that said, it's time to honor not 1 but 2 drivers in our Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup Short Track Spotlight. I couldn't pick just 1. I got 2. So they're sitting next to me right now. Let's tell you more about Anderson's first. Anderson's is a proud sponsor and supporter of World of Outlaws racer Bill Balog and Jason Gross. Try Anderson's in your coffee or tea or on vanilla ice cream. Take it with you with Pure Fuel, Maple Energy on the go. Buy Anderson's Maple Syrup at your favorite grocer. Anderson's has over 95 years of syrup perfection, available online as well at andersonsmaplesyrup.com. Anderson's Maple Syrup Spotlight on these 2 sweet drivers. He races a sport mod on the dirt at 141 and other racetracks. Let's welcome in Jason Schilling. Jason, thanks for coming on the show.
Yep, thanks.
And next to him, we got a driver that's here for the first time, locked himself in when Mike Rose was on the show. He came to watch Mike. Mike's here to watch him. Let's welcome into the show for the very first time, Matthew Wandry. Matthew, thanks for being on.
Thank you for having me.
We're excited to have you both on. We have a couple of drivers hanging out with us. You brought your cars down tonight. Jason, thank you for cleaning it up. And I love the idle. You weren't in the lot unloading, if you know what I mean. You came a little distance to get that thing parked here at Polly's on the new parking lot. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Sounds great.
Yeah, that's new carburetor. Pretty much helps.
How's it been treating you?
Well, first night out on the new carburetor. Won the heat race, then rain out. Go figure.
Yeah. And this past weekend, did you just kind of wait for the rain to stop, and I never did?
Well, no. We were going to take the weekend off. I was at my parents' house and had fun there.
Nice. So you have a chance to race optionally. If you want to go here, you can go here. You want to go there, you can go there.
Yeah.
Where are the sport mods legal now in the state of Wisconsin?
Basically all the eastern besides Wilmot.
Okay.
I drive past Plymouth. I could have gone there. Most likely going to go out to Seymour once or twice and Luxembourg on Fridays once or twice too.
All right. So when it comes to that kind of racing schedule, you have 1 car, 1 motor?
Yeah, we got 1 car ready. The other car is at the engine kind of took a crap on me.
All right. That happens.
Yeah, lap 3.
Oh boy.
Of a heat race.
So now you got that to worry about it when you get time, because you got to get one running, right?
Pretty much. It's a hassle. It just sits there now. It's collecting dust.
So when it comes to sport mod racing, how many cars in a given night at 141, which has, I think, become one of the modified meccas when it comes to big money races for modifieds?
Yeah, just a weekly show. There's roughly 50 of us. It's hard racing, door banging. Oh, it's pretty fun.
And when it comes to equipment, you've got to have, I'm guessing, some spare parts and some people are helping you make sure that you got enough in the trailer to keep racing.
Yeah. Just It's weird this year, just not having Grandpa around. He's with my grandma right now, out of town or in the hospital.
Okay.
It's just a little weird, but yeah, we got Ryan Fisher, Mike, Chris Johnson, and all of them just come whenever they can.
Okay. A lot of the work being done in the shop by you then during the week?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say a lot of it. Just whatever needs to be fixed and just try to tune up.
All right. Hang out with Jason Schilling, Sport Mod Racer, and I'm guessing you got your schedule kind of you're looking ahead to maybe doing, 141 this weekend? Anything else that we might be like, if everything holds together?
Yeah, we're going to try we're going to do 141 this week.
Okay.
And probably we're going to try Beaver Dam on Tuesday next week if everything is going good. And then hopefully we go out to Seymour one time within the month.
Have you been to Outagamie County Raceway yet?
Twice. I helped my brother Steven when he first raced his mod there. Didn't turn out too good. Then I helped my cousin race his Grand National there. He did pretty well there.
So when you say help, how involved are you, and have you been a crew member and a racer, or have you a crew member turned into a racer?
Crew member turned into a racer.
All right. How long have you been racing then after working on everybody else's stuff?
Since 2018.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Have you progressed in different cars, or is this the same car you continue to tweak with the now 2 cars in the shop?
The Grand National we had a year before in 2021. And the Sport Mod, it's the same one since 2022.
Okay. Looks great.
I like it.
Sponsors on that thing must love it too. It really looks sharp.
Oh, yeah. Robert Wyckoff at Wizard Inc., Amy Brocher, the Realtor, J&A Auto Trim, Black Sheep Bodies, LeMay Motorsports, Seymour Beverages, and my rap guy, Beham.
All right.
We picked the colors randomly. I think it worked out pretty good.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it on the track yet and you aren't going to be able to be here at Paulie's, we will post a picture of the car outside. But what made you go with that unique color? It's mostly white, but then it's like, kind of dazzles.
Yeah, we just seen a bunch of people not do green chrome at all. And then next thing you know, he sent me a picture of the roll. I was like, we're going to do that.
Okay. Speaking of colorful characters and colorful cars, I've got a driver sitting next to you over here on the end, Matthew Wandry, Slinger Bees. That's a lot to accomplish, getting out there and racing in a Slinger Bee at Slinger. How long have you been doing that?
So this is actually my second full-time year.
Okay.
I started out in 2022. I entered halfway into the season. I ended up buying a car the year prior in, September, and it was a street car. I took 9 months to build.
You took it from a street car to a race car.
Oh, yeah. I bought it off a guy who had 9 of them in his backyard, so, we got a pretty good deal there.
All right. Okay. Maybe some spare parts. You look for the other ones right away, like anything I can maybe take off of that one while I'm here?
Yeah, it's the beautiful thing with the Hondas. It's a 99 Honda Civic. Parts from the first generation CRVs, any Acura Integras or Civics, they all really fit the same car because they're the same unibody. So whenever I need a part and I have to go to a junkyard, it's really all right, do you have this car? Oh, you don't have that? Oh, well, maybe do you have this? Oh, we have that. So,
Gotcha.
No, it's great.
Yeah. So what was it like when you finally said it's ready to race? What was that exhilaration? Because I'm thinking, as you were preparing for this and then it became a reality, what was the first thought and feeling you had when you're like, I'm racing this thing?
Really exciting. This has kind of been like a lifelong goal of mine to race on Sunday nights. This year's my 10th year racing, and I just remember thinking all the times that as a kid going in the grandstands and watching races on Sunday, I'm going, this is amazing. Like, now we get to do the big oval. I used to race go-karts at Slinger in the Memorial Go-Karts.
Oh, yeah.
I got to race there, so I had a little bit of experience on track, but not the full track experience. So once we got out in the full track, it was just like, wow, this is a lot of taking.
So Jason Schilling talks about having 50 cars in his class. There are 2 different classifications at Slinger. There's Slinger Bees and there's Super Bees. At some point, I'm guessing if you break out in your time, they're going to make you go to the faster class, right? Is that kind of the best way to say it?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you run faster than a 15.2 consistently, Tech is probably going to start telling you, maybe you should consider getting some Hoosiers and bumping up into a Super B. Let some of these guys who are running maybe, 15.4s, 15.3s, keep running where they're at. Because it's just a big cost measure thing. For me, I'm a college student just doing this out of my own money. That's one of the reasons I chose this compared to going to a Super B. I feel like the guys that run there spend a little more money than the Bs, and to me it's more cost effective to run where I'm at right now. So.
And the racing is really good.
Oh, yeah.
You got to get after it, don't you? You don't have much time to say, I'm going to try to figure this out. No, you got to go.
Oh, yeah. No, you're exactly right about that. It's every practice session counts, every lap in qualifying counts, every heat counts, and even every lap in the feature counts.
Are you guys still group qualifying at Slinger?
Oh, yeah.
So you're out there with 5 other guys or gals, and you're like, I got to put a lap down.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, we had a couple weeks ago, I had a car in front of me that was blowing up actively, and I'm going, how do I get around this guy without him coming up or wrecking me or something like that? But No, it's a little hectic, but small car nationals, we do a single car qualifying. That's always really fun because it feels like I'm driving one of the big cars at the late model.
Dropping the bowl. I love that feeling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Letting it hit limiter.
So this past Sunday, one of your better finishes, what was the best feeling of that race weekend?
Really good. It really was redemption for me. My final race last year, we ended up getting the same position, and I was super stoked. I'm going, man, this first top 10 finish in a feature, like P6. It's really good for our little car. And I got an attack, and they're looking at my car, and they're like, hey, you have illegal brake rotors. I'm like, what do you mean? These have been on the car since I bought it. Like, this car's been through tech twice. No, we're going to have to put you from 6th to 18th. I'm like, that's not fun.
No.
So this week, when I went into it, my main goal was just, you know what, let's finish. Let's see if we can finish, you know, be competitive. We've been ripping the high side all this year, and it's just felt great. Like, I know the car that won it was really consistent on the inside, but every restart we had, I could line up to her on the outside and go, all right, I think I can reel her in the corners a little bit here.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
You racing this Sunday night?
Yes, I am.
Because I know there's a few nights you guys are not racing every Sunday, right?
Yeah, so this is actually our last race for a week. And then we have a small car national. It's the beginning of the Twin Bee Challenge, which is a 2-race deal. I believe it's still a $1,000 cash prize if you win, or it's Pine points at the end of the 2 races. But no, I'm really excited for that, though. That's going to be exciting.
Who helps you on your race car?
So it's my dad, my brother, my buddy Tyler. He's here tonight. I kind of roped him. He's a childhood friend of mine from school, and I wanted to show him what real racing is because I got him into RC racing back in the winter.
Oh, sure, yeah.
No, it's just awesome to see him because he's really excited, and I know we get lit up whenever we get to the track. He's like, I want to do that. I'm like, I want to get you in a car because 4 years ago I was in his position helping someone out get a car on the track, and that's where we're at right now. We're now on the track, so I want to give back as much as possible to some of my crew guys and give them some good results.
Very cool. And I see Mike Roses here as your friend that kind of roped you into coming on the show.
Oh, yeah.
But more importantly, you guys that do this.
Oh, yeah.
Where?
I was going to say.
Where do you do it?
So we do this actually up at Revolution Raceway in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. It's at the hobby town out there. But we kind of on a whim, I go, why don't we race? It's a Friday night kind of deal. Why don't we just bring our cars out, test it out, see if we really want to do this? So we bring all 4 of our cars over. Tyler actually bought one there, so he was going to race it basically out of the box. But no, he brought it there. We raced, and we really have a good time. The competition there is really friendly. It's really fierce on track. So, it brings me back every week. So I like it. It gives me something to do in the wintertime.
Yeah, for sure.
The car's not getting worked on.
Who are the sponsors on your fancy paint scheme out there?
So Kim Gertis with Keller Williams, she's actually been on the car since our first season, and she saw something in my goal. She was my only sponsor for my first year. So I'm really happy to have her on board for another year. Jamie Becker with Final Destination for making probably one of the best looking Slinger Bees out on the track, doing all my vinyl work, everything there. B&C Contracting, Brian Rudolph, he's a good friend of mine, big Honda nut, so he helps me out with some Honda parts and stuff like that. Tyler Putlighter and the Bobbleheads Bring Us Together project. Tyler's a lifelong friend of mine. He's just a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think, one last one. I think we got them all there.
All right.
Yeah.
So now the reason why I had you guys on together was because you're in disciplines that people are saying, okay, what's all racing on a given night? Sunday night, the Slinger Bees are part of 4 or 5 divisions that race. And when it comes to sport mods, you guys are there, and the modifieds are there, or they're running IMCA stock cars or something. I mean, you guys are always, it seems like, around a bunch of other divisions. It's not like it's just your night. So as you sit together here, I want to get your first take on this, Jason. When it comes to car preparation and awareness, you might not be racing the first session, but they're going to make you pack the track. They're going to make you guys do a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. How do you attack that and approach that and say, you know what, this is my role right now. That's what I want to do, and I'm going to make this thing fly?
Well, at the Grand National, I mean, they make us pack track almost every week at 141. Then we just put a bunch of stagger in it and just hopefully it goes. We know it's going to be muddy. We know it's going to be sloppy. Then with the sport mods, if there's not enough Grand Nationals, same concept. Hopefully we get the car loose enough. That way for 1 and 2 it's good enough and we can go.
Gotcha. And I know at Slinger Super Speedway the pits are primarily on the hill for you guys, right?
Yeah.
I know there's some certain reserve spots, but in the communication world, I mean, if there's weather coming, you guys are probably going to be the first division that might be altered in your schedule. How do you kind of stay on top of that?
Yeah, I always try to keep my ear to the ground. Like, I always try to keep my suit ready. Like, if we need to jump in the car for compacts to go drive the track or something like that, I'm always willing to hop in my car. It gives me a little bit of time to try out the track, see what I like. Yeah. Maybe if we put an adjustment on the car to see, hey, maybe this is feeling out, but we're not going full speed yet, something like that.
So you've seen Mike race American Super Cups. You've actually been wanting to race your own car you built from nothing. Have you ever thought about racing a sport mod like Jason drives?
honestly, I'd really like to. I love the whole dirt scene ever since we got into RC racing. Yeah. I have a buddy who races out at Beaver Dam tonight, Johnny Persha, and one of the guys who brought me up in go-karts, Art Hahn. I know he races legend cars. It's a lot of fun to race. Everyone's sliding around. I've heard it runs a little like concrete, but it's still kind of that slippery feeling.
Yeah.
I'd love to try that out.
Jason, have you ever tried three-wheeling a four-cylinder on Slinger, or ever thought about it?
Well, I raced my old sport mod at Rockford once.
All right. How'd you do?
First year, we made both shows. The first year we were in AA. Then the second year, total the car in single A, but we still got 7th.
When it comes to year-end specials, if everything goes well, you eyeballing some of those already?
No more asphalt for me.
All right. How about any dirt ones that are coming up that you might want to try?
We're just looking to see what there is. I know out of Gamey will have a couple of special ones. Luxembourg just had their mod. Now they're going to have a stock car and sport mod one coming up too.
Cool.
For Sundays. Then maybe I think 141 has a couple other ones coming.
All right. Jason, where can we find you on social channels?
Schilling Racing on Facebook. That's about it.
Cool. And he's going to race at 141 Speedway, which is 141speedway.com.
Yep.
So you can follow along what you're doing there. When it comes to socials, where are you at, Matthew?
I'm on Instagram, Matthew Wandering Motorsports. Come follow us. We usually try to post a weekly race update of where we finished.
All right.
So, this week it'll be, hey, we finished 6th, but, results are pending. Our transponder stopped working halfway through the race. So we were running up front, and I was like, man, I want to see what, our best time was.
Yeah.
I go to look on Race Pass, and I'm like, we got 10th? How is that possible?
You might have run a 14.6. We don't know.
Exactly.
You don't know.
If
Transponder
the
doesn't work. I don't know.
If the Honda can do that, that's a miracle.
Hey, guys, thanks a lot for bringing your cars down, your friends down, your family. How about a big hand for these guys, Matthew Andre, Slinger Bees driver, and Jason Schilling, running that sport mod this Saturday night at 141 Speedway. Guys, thanks a lot for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. They're Anderson's short track spotlight this week. I'd like to remind you, Anderson's maple syrup actually has a pancake breakfast planned on Saturday morning, July 13th. It's going to happen at Wilmot Raceway. Racing Friday Night Outlaws. World of Outlaws sprint cars are on Friday night. A pancake breakfast on Saturday morning. World of Outlaws race the Larry Hilder race Saturday night, July 13th. That pancake breakfast will be gone and delicious. They're also bringing a band in from Nashville on Thursday night. A lot going on. Go to WilmotRaceway.com. We'll tell you more about what's going on in the world of motorsports on this here program. That's what we do every Tuesday night. We have Dave Olson here with us. We have Derek Crane with us. And we have David Gravel, World of Outlaws point leader, in queue, to be honest, with the show via live video here before we hang things up for this week's edition. Make sure you come on down to the show, or if you can't make it tonight, we'll see you next Tuesday at Wilmot Raceway. We'll be right back with more on this edition of the Racing Roundup Show.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Contact us on our website, racingroundupshow.com. We'll be right back with more of the Upper Midwest and Wisconsin racing scene, NASCAR, and the world of motorsports. Greenfield Gallery wants to buy your racing collection. Do you have die-cast cars from IndyCar, Sprint Car, or short tracks? Greenfield Gallery wants them. If you have old racing programs, racing photos, and negatives, Greenfield Gallery wants those too. Contact Ralph Hibbert Jr. at Greenfield Gallery, who wants to buy your racing collection. Ralph also has an ever-changing eBay store full of racing collectibles. Search Greenfield Gallery. Email Ralph right now to get connected. His email address is ralph@greenfieldgallery.net.
Automatic Transmission Design is located in Germantown, Wisconsin. They've been hard at work the last 15 years in perfecting the best performance racing transmissions and converters. The folks at ATD have made it possible to offer the best quality and most affordably priced winning components for off-road, drag racing, truck pulling, and circle track applications. ATD may not be the biggest or most famous company in the marketplace, but they have the will and put in that extra effort to provide you with the best products available. ATD's certified technicians go through a comprehensive quality checklist on every transmission and converter they build. Then it's tested on their in-house dyno. Only then is the product ready for shipment to the customer. ATD takes these steps to provide you with the best quality products every time. They are 100% guaranteed. Their no returns policy makes sure it's right the first time. The next time you need a performance transmission or converter, give Charlie a call at 262-251-7777 or visit autotransdesign.com.
Jiffy Lube has locations across Wisconsin to serve you. Visit jiffylube.com to locate your store and to find the latest coupons and promotional offers. You're greeted by a friendly and knowledgeable staff. Grab a water or coffee and know you and your vehicle are in good hands. Windshield wipers, new tires, and alignments are a few of the many services offered. Jiffy Lube proudly features Pennzoil. There's a whole lot more than no appointment drive-up oil changes at Jiffy Lube. Welcome to personalized car care. Wisconsin race fans, find your store at jiffylube.com.
Organize like the pros with Hefner Racing products. Take your trailer to the next level. Upgrade your garage, streamline your shop. Whether you're tearing up the track or tackling home projects, Hefner Racing Products has you covered with the best made and widest variety of organizational accessories made right here in Wisconsin. Shop online now at hrpracing.com.
Mower Series at Olson Outdoor Power is raising the bar on performance with smarter controls, longer run times, and more comfort. Add in layaway and financing from Olson's, and there's no lawn you can't conquer. Buy the best from the best. Gravely at Olson's Outdoor Power, Muskego.
Check out our website, racingroundupshow.com, to watch show archives, see photos from decades of our program, and links to support our awesome show advertisers. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Thank you, Dean Schramm. 40 years and counting. Our show has been happening on weeknights all season long. Looking forward to seeing you at our next show. It's next Tuesday at Wilmot Raceway. Got a couple things to tell you about between now and then. This portion of our show is brought to you by Allied Resource Recovery. Turn your recyclable metals into cash. ARR has locations in West Allis and Waukesha. Find their full list of accepted metals and materials to turn in for cash at ARR1938.com. Next Tuesday actually follows a big weekend this Saturday. Wilmot Raceway is Walter Night at Wilmot Raceway this Saturday. Great sponsor of ours. If you didn't catch our Walter Night show last Tuesday on our program, by all means, check out our website, racingroundupshow.com. Look for episode 12 of 2024. And we got some Walter hats over here to give away. Great folks. If you want to find out about working as a technician with Walter, you can find out more at the front gate at at Walter Night at Wilmot Raceway this Saturday, June 29th. This portion of our show is also here to remind you about next Tuesday, July 2nd. We're back at the Wilmot Raceway. That's a Tuesday night. We're going to be on our show live at 5 p.m. on Tuesday inside the front gate at Wilmot Raceway. 3 weekly divisions are points racing that night as a special treat for the 4th of July. We're getting off of that weekend, so they're racing on Tuesday night to kind of help us with our show. We're out there doing our show with them. It's $30 carload night and fireworks after the races as well. Come for the show and the great racing at the Kenosha County Fairgrounds. Join us. Again, our show starts at 5 p.m. Thanks to CK Contractors, a DeAngelis Construction Road Show. Our show's on the road next Tuesday, 5 p.m. start time at the Wilmot Raceway on the Kenosha County Fairgrounds. And in 2 weeks' time, Oak Creek Automotive and Keith's Marina present our presentation of the live DeAngelis Construction Road Show at the front gate at the Slinger Nationals on Tuesday night, July 9th at Slinger Super Speedway. It's time for the Interstate Batteries of Southeast Wisconsin NASCAR report. Interstate Batteries is outrageously dependable. And they are the number one replacement battery in North America. Interstate Batteries is a founding sponsor of Joe Gibbs Racing. Visit interstatebatteries.com to find a battery for every need at a dealer near you. It was officially announced this afternoon. There was a Facebook feed that I was watching live on Joe Gibbs Racing's Facebook page. The past Racing Roundup Show guest Chase Briscoe was officially announced as the driver of the number 19 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota next year, in placing the retiring Martin Truex. The announcement has maybe been moved up, I'd say. Maybe had been moved up due to JGR driver Christopher Bell slipping on Friday and saying that the first name Chase was part of the plan for next year when he's asked about going forward without the leadership of Truex. So he mentioned Chase, somebody's like, which Chase? And he kind of stopped, tried to correct himself, and he kind of gave up. Well, now we know for sure it was Chase Briscoe he was talking about. Good to see Chase Briscoe, the 2016 ARCA Menard Series champ, getting a shot at racing. And he said he's the only driver that he said he talked to many teams. And Joe Gibbs Racing did not ask him, what can you bring? Everybody else did. On the track at New Hampshire Motor Speedway this past weekend, which is a copy of the Milwaukee Mile across the street, Christopher Bell held a winner's trophy on Saturday after the Xfinity Series race and gladly held up the Live Lobster Trophy on Sunday after the 6 hours at New Hampshire Cup Series race. Sunday's Cup race ended with a groove, wet tires on the cars for the final 86 laps following a 2-hour-plus rain delay. Bell had 2 fresh tires, with the others had 4 following the last pit stop in the 305-lap race that went 4 laps past the advertised distance. Briscoe drag raced his current teammate Josh Berry to the line to earn second place. Briscoe, an open-wheel dirt racer like Bell, said the rain and wet conditions saved him, otherwise he thought he might have finished like 24th. Berry said his racing for a decade on worn-out and slick short tracks helped him the last dozen years or so to finish in the top 5. Kyle Larson 4th, Chris Buescher wasn't the happiest guy about the race conditions. There were wet conditions. The tires, again, were getting heated up. Some were blistering him. He ended up 5th on the day. On Saturday's Xfinity Series race on the 1 mile oval, Bell had his 4th Xfinity Series race win in 4 tries at that track in that series. He raced the Joe Gibbs Racing number 20. Charlotte Creed finished 2nd again for the record-tying 10th time. Yep, he hasn't won one yet. He's now finished second 10 times in the Xfinity Series. Sam Mayer was digging down low, then he was involved in a 4-wide gone wrong situation, exiting turn 2 with less than 20 laps to go. Mayer Franklin was credited with 19th. Carson Quapple in the 88. What can you say? This kid's ready. He's earning a full-time Xfinity Series ride by doing exactly what he did again on Saturday. Finished 5th in the 88 for Junior Motorsports. Rhinelander's Parker Rutzloff was 26th on the lead lap. Breaking news, Sam Mayer will be in the Franklin City Parade on the 4th of July. I just learned that this week. Actually, right as I got in the car to come here. Sam Mayer will be in the Franklin Parade in Franklin, Wisconsin, a suburb of Milwaukee, on July 4th. So that's kind of cool. So he's coming home before he heads out to Chicago street course. And an overtime restart. I'll get you about the ARCA results here. I was there in Mid-Ohio. Crazy race. Came down to a restart. They said Connor Mosack jumped the final restart, and they penalized him by throwing the black flag. So Mosack ran out the rest of the race, but he was also black flagged and penalized 30 seconds for jumping what they said was the restart line ahead of the restart leader. So Brent Cruz was leading, I guess, and it was a dead heat. I don't know how they figured it out, but nonetheless, William Sawalich took advantage of that, got the lead away from Brent Cruz in the final moments of overtime, went on to win the race. Gio Ruggiero was third, Trans Am racer. Thomas Annunziata was fourth. And Marco Andretti, who's racing at Milwaukee in both the truck and the ARCA race on August 25th, he's actually going to be racing across the street of the Milwaukee Mile. He finished 5th in the ARCA race, his best finish. I see Joe Bongiorno walking in with the guys. Good to see you here. Thank you coming down. That's kind of cool. Back to my other results as I'm getting distracted here. I can't help it. I just love talking racing all the time. Next up from that Cup and Xfinity is Nashville Super Speedway this weekend. I'll be hanging out with the NASCAR Productions crew at Berlin Raceway this Saturday night, live on FS1, ARCA Menard Series, ARCA 200 at Berlin Raceway in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I started by having finished watching the Dale Jr. download on YouTube with guest Paul Andrews. That's Alan Quicky's crew chief. I forgot that he worked for Roush. He worked for Cranofus Haas. He worked for DEI since he was working with Alan, and he obviously stuck around when Jeff Bodine bought the team. Great in-depth stuff that I saw so far. I encourage you to watch it on YouTube to see Paul's reaction. He still gets broken up every time you mention Alan because it meant so much to him and his guys, the Quickieites, but I'm looking forward to watching the rest of it. So go to Dale Jr. Download on YouTube and watch it. I'm going to do that this week, but I just want to tell you it's out there. It looks like it's really cool. I'm going to quickly switch to drag racing news. Tony Stewart and Leah Pruitt, they're expecting their first child in November. That's pretty big. This Friday and Saturday at Great Lakes Dragways, the Brew City Gastros presents Out of Sight Drags. This is also big. A 200-mile-per-hour nitro cars and a pit area and drag strip full of pre-1967 vintage drag racing. Yeah, it's all there this Friday and Saturday. We have event flyers like this one here at the show. It's got a lot of information on the back as well. Grab one here or go to the track's website, GreatLakesDragAway.com, and visit the special events page there. Also an update on John Force. I just checked again right now during our commercial break. Nothing has been reported in the last 21 hours, but the 16-time champ went in the wall hard at 302 miles per hour, engine on fire. It blew up in the Sunday first round at the Virginia Nationals. He was taken to the hospital. He remains in ICU at a hospital in Virginia. No update on his condition, but he was, I believe, sitting up on the stretcher when they got him. I can't tell for sure, but unfortunately for John Force, there's some recovery involved here, and he remains in ICU. That's all we know. We do know that a gentleman who's been around the country for a long time and also right here in Wisconsin has been taking quality racing photos, hero cards, passionate when it comes to photography, and deservedly so, is a newest inductee in the class for the Wisconsin Sports, Southeast Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame. We want to welcome in a very, very nice friend of mine. I just get to see him everywhere. Let's welcome in Dave Olson of the Racing Roundup Show. Dave, how are you?
All right. It's great to be here. I feel like after all these years of listening to you on the radio and then being here as a guest and then seeing it online, I said, I gotta get up there and see what it's like. You've done it for so long. We were actually doing the math on a calculator how long I've been doing photos.
How long?
48 years.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I started in 1976 at Hales Corner Speedway. That's where I grew up. Rode my bike down there, and I shot my first photo in the grandstands with my dad's old little square Instamatic, and from that night, the colors, the noise, get your Midwest racing news here, and then Jack Baker on the mic, and I was hooked, and I think we didn't miss a race, and we were sitting between Willie Gaden fans and Mike Melius fans, and then certainly in '76 is when Al Schill, bought Wally George's stuff, and then all of a sudden it had Schill fans, so a lot of good memories, and that's how I started. So, 48 years. I got to be. That was before color film. No, it wasn't.
Check with Mom every time.
I think
you
so.
Get verification on it. She's
right.
here tonight, too.
Yeah.
Very much part of all of this. So, entering the Southeast Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame, you get voted in It was a big deal, wasn't it? It's kind of like saying, I guess I have done something pretty cool.
It really is. I don't know. I think at my age, maybe they're like, what do we do with him, you know? Todd Thielen at Slinger says he's going to make a little square in the infield, and I have to stand there so I don't get myself in trouble. You know, I'm getting that old. But anyway, no, it was a really big thrill. I feel like I went through, they had a Kids Day event this summer, and I actually went through and just looked at who's in there, and I was like, oh my gosh, how am I in there with my, you know, my heroes back growing up, right? And then understanding that I'm on my third generation of racers, the Fosbenders, Etchy Beertzer, Ken Beertzer, Scotty Beertzer. So if somebody tells me there's another generation, I don't know if I'm going to continue. But no, it's just it's a great honor, and really to be in there with a lot of my idols, and then who's who in racing is really quite the honor. So
You've slung your camera a long time around Wisconsin, but I also recall seeing you in Florida at go-kart races. I've seen you at the Chili Bowl carrying on that big Venus flytrap-looking light kit to make sure you get the picture you want. You go out and seek these opportunities still, don't you?
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's maybe the way I'm wired. I'm kind of looking for, you know, what's next, what I can shoot. I remember going to the Knoxville Nationals, and I knew who Dick Berggren was, stock car racing, but they started a new magazine called Open Wheel. Mm-hmm. Bruce Ellis, who I got to know, announcer, introduced me, and I asked Dick Berggren there, I said, hey, introduce myself. I said, how do I get published in Open Wheel?
Yeah.
So he gave me his card, and then I said, how do you get the cover? And he kind of chuckled, and he says, just send me some pictures, kid, right? And he says, well, you have to shoot everything vertically because a cover is vertical.
Ah, yeah.
So I shot every day, every car on that track vertical. True story. So I got back. I sent him all kinds of pictures, and then I got a package about 2 months later, and it was a handwritten note with a plaque with the cover image of Doug Wolfgang winning the – yeah, mine. Yeah,
Your first try at this.
Yeah.
You're on the cover of Open Wheel magazine.
That was awesome. So, yeah, I feel like, and that's kind of turned into a lifelong, a career-long relationship with the United States Auto Club, World of Outlaws, who I'm still credentialed with, and I shoot. And a lot of stuff you see on social media are pictures that I, submit to them from whatever race I'm going to. So, yeah, it's just been kind of, and then the IRA family, I started with them, man, that was late 70s. And I'm still shooting for them. So, yeah, I really don't know anything else. I feel like some of the funnest things that I'm noticing now is in going to these tracks is finding a new spot. Going to Slinger and some of these tracks for 40-plus years, I'm walking around trying to find something different just because it's fun. And then invariably I'll run into people, and I'm, having conversations and shaking hands, and it's just really fun for me. And then finally get something that's different. That's kind of like how I'm wired that way.
So as far as the community goes for photographers, I enjoy being around people that enjoy it as much as you do. Ron Erstad is here tonight. You guys got a picture taken earlier together, which is kind of cool, I thought. But Ron's one of those guys who'll be down in the infield getting those shots. Yeah. But you're now saying, I want to find somewhere different. Because, Ron's got that covered. Is that what you're kind of thinking?
Yeah, he's got to cover that victory lane and does a great job with that. But I kind of feel like, let's just take the Chili Bowl. There's over 100 credentialed photographers, right? And if you look at any pictures, 98 of them are in the infield. Mm-hmm. I just am not remotely interested in being there. They're all going to have the same kind of stuff. So I'm finding little nooks and crannies and trying to bribe a security guard to take a quick shot here or there and just kind of come up with something different. So,
however, I do recall one photo that I remember like it was taken yesterday. The Wilkie Midget, number 11, at the Chili Bowl. Went for a high flying ride. The logo behind us, for example, there's a big Chili Bowl wall outside 1 and 2. It's got a big banner on it. And smack dab in the middle of that banner is the flipping, that's the word, flipping Wilkie Midget in midair. You captured that thing in the perfect spot. It was almost like a postage stamp with an advertisement for the Chili Bowl. That car went high, and you got every minute of it.
That was unreal. True story, I literally had just bought a different lens. And before they started that race, I actually changed to that lens. I was standing behind all the photographers, and all of a sudden he came in there, and honestly, I didn't even look at the settings, and bang, 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 and I was going through them, and I'm like, oh, right, it's just like there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that's a shot right there. So sometimes you got to be in the right spot, right spot, right time. But
you've got more than a curiosity positioning. You get a lot of good shots. You take your time to find that shot. I don't know how much film you don't have to blow because it's all digital now, right? Mm-hmm. But you don't. I'm guessing you're economizing your selections on how many shots you take as well, right?
Well, it is. I tell photographers reach out, and and I see they're posting hundreds of pictures, right? And I'm like, you know, if I could suggest picking your favorite and posting one that you think tells a story that you're very proud of, and, you know, to me that makes more of an impact. So, for instance, like my kind of personal rule for Facebook is I won't post any more than a dozen, and each one will have a different lens, different lighting, different story on the track, in the pits, the grandstand. So I'm trying to tell a story of the night in a dozen pictures, and that's just kind of like what I do. Not right or wrong, but I enjoy doing that, you know, and then having a variety of pictures, you know, from that night. So it's kind of fun for me still after all these years.
It sure is. Dave Olson's with us. It's a pleasure to have you on the Racing Roundup program. And as we look ahead to where you may be going next, it doesn't really matter, right? Because you got a schedule. It's like, you know what? If I want to do that, I want to do that. If I want to go walleye fishing with my kids, I'm going to go do that. Is that kind of where you're at right now, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I look at the schedule, and there's races I definitely want to hit. I mean, I shoot for the World of Outlaws, and really disappointed USAC got rained out. You know, Wilmot, I mean, I was there early on in the late 70s, and but can't control the weather. This year's been really difficult, and you just kind of roll on to the next one. So World of Outlaws got, you know, that makeup date at Beaver Dam coming up, and then 2 at Wilmot. So I'm looking forward to that. But I was just up at Slinger on Sunday, you know, because the Sun Prairie got rained out, and like I said, just walking around and bumping into people, and you know, trying to come up with something different. But my knees are getting worn out, man. I don't know how many I got left. I was hoping to make it to 50, and then it'd be like, I'll drive around in a golf cart and say hi to everybody.
2 more years, you're saying that.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the warning. Thanks for the warning.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave Olson's joining us here on the Racing Runner program, and I want you to tell the story you told me before we got on the air. It's something about a kid working at an auto parts shop with a really cool twist.
Yeah. So back in, I think it was 78, you know, it's like we started going to Hales Corners in 76, and Alan Kulwicki started racing there about that same time. And then back then, you know, you'd race Hales Corners, and then you'd race that same car at Slinger. Can you imagine doing that now, right? So I knew who Alan Kulwicki was, and I was working the counter, and sure enough, here he comes. And I'm like, dude, Alan Kulwicki. He looks at me, goes, who are you? So I introduced myself, and so we kind of struck up a friendship. He'd call and ask for me there for parts, and then he's like, you know, any chance you can drop him off at the race shop? Because it's right up the road in Greenfield.
Sounds like Alan, right?
And then I get to the race shop. He goes, you got any time? I mean, I need some help. Can you know, all of a sudden I'm cleaning stuff, and we've developed this friendship. And he goes, so you said you take pictures, huh? What's the chance of you? Yeah. And then all of a sudden WLPX, and that's how that whole thing started, just out of a coincidence meeting at the auto parts store.
So the pictures we see, and I have probably 7 versions on my phone right now, were taken by you of the Kulwicki LPX early days.
Yeah, Terry Jeffords and that whole deal back in the day. Yeah, that was a pretty cool deal. So, so many stories like that. I mean, looking at Hales Corners, just briefly how that started, I was look at RPM photos, which everybody knows they were the best, and I would save up my allowance money to buy 5x7s on Saturday of my favorite drivers, and then I started shooting more pictures, and I'm like, man, they're in the infield. How do you get in there? So I don't know. I think I was 16 maybe, pretty tall. So I planned a strategy where I was going to go to the pit shack and buy a pit pass. I didn't know what I was doing, but I'm like, I got to get over in the infield, right? Yeah. So I got my pit pass. They didn't ask for an ID, and I come in there, and just at intermission, I timed my entrance into the infield, and I made it. I'm walking up there, and then here comes 2 officials coming my way.
Uh-oh.
So in high school, a friend of mine named Ron Neusen, his dad, Ken, was a scorer. So he looks at me. He goes, Dave, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm taking pictures. This is awesome. He goes, you're like 12. You can't be in here. He gets on the radio. He calls Phil Hall from Midwest Racing News. Phil comes over. He goes, what's your name? How old are you? I said, I'm 16. He goes, come and see me on your 18th birthday. I'll get you a press card. So August 11th, 1980, I walked into his office. I said, I'm here for my press card. And that's a true story.
Wow.
That's how I started. So between 76 and 80, that's when I started going to Wilmot, because they had a 16-year-old. Beaver Dam, I actually talked Harry Weichel into letting me be a track photographer when I was 16 years old on Tuesday nights. My mom, I kid it all the time. She's letting me drive up there in my car, coming home, how late, no cell phones, no nothing, and she's waiting at the door, you know, tapping her feet. Where have you been? So, yeah, that's how it all started, and it's just been pedaled down since. So, so many good stories over the years. But your voice, you know, part of the reason why coming up here, I kind of wanted to be in this position of interviewing, right? I'm in front of the cameras. I was told I kind of have a face for behind the camera. So this is my opportunity. I'm going to ask Jim a couple questions
Oh,
here.
boy.
Do we have time for this?
Boy. Yeah, I apparently do now.
So
it's your show, Dave.
I'm
We're
be
just
an interviewer.
part of it.
Hey, we're here in West Allis at Paulie's Pub for the Racing Roundup show. 40th some year, whatever.
40.
It is, right? 40.
Yeah,
okay.
even.
So what I want to know, Jim, is back in the day when you started announcing, and I think it was at Dousman, right?
It was,
Badger
yeah.
Raceway. So
Yep.
how did you get into that behind the mic? Tell us a little bit of how that started.
I'll be as brief as I can. It was July 27, 1985. It was a very hot day. It was also the day of the WKA Grand Nationals, which is not just a national race. It's the biggest of the
one.
Manufacturers' Cup for WKA. I'm sitting there, I think it was a Friday. Yeah, 3-day weekend. And my friend Henry Duga, who's been a longtime board member, said to my brother, hey, what's your brother doing? Me. I didn't have money to race. I'm just there helping clean up the carts, whatever. My brother's been racing carts for a long time. He's like, Jim, come with me. Like, where am I going? He's like, come here. He drags me up to the tower, hands me a mic, and says, talk.
Come on.
And I said, it's the WKA Grand Nationals. He said, yeah, we need an announcer. You know these guys. You've been to Daytona hanging out with your brother, working on this stuff. You read the magazines.
Really?
Talk. So I did that for 2.5 years.
Wow.
And then I started calling in this show on the phone when it was in the studio. And then in
Sure.
1987, we went on the road with the show. We haven't stopped going on the road yet. And that's when I started showing up and got more
Oh,
involved.
my gosh. What a great story. So
Yeah.
that leads me into my second question.
Okay.
So let's just go to
These are written down, by the way, so I got to answer
I
them.
have them on my phone.
Oh, okay. All right.
So let's just go to the TV side of things, and you're interviewing somebody, and you ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your mind going? Are you, when he's talking, or whoever you're interviewing, are you going towards your next question? Are you listening to a producer? Are you listening to him and then making up a question quickly on the fly? What goes through your mind on these TV interviews that you're doing?
Great question. So I'll just go to the Chili Bowl. Kyle Larson wins his first one. And I'm getting no direction in my headset of what I should do other than get the winner. So I'm on the stage. There's Emmett Hahn. There's everybody. There's a girl with the big flowery stuff in her hair. And I'm like, hey, Kyle, you finally won it. You finally won it. He's like, yeah, it's really cool. What's going on? And I said, okay. I have not heard anybody in my headset say, wrap it up or ask another question or keep it short. Nothing. I get those cues. I've got all those cues over time. So I'm kind of like waiting for that to happen. It never does. I'm like, my second question. Here we go. Kyle, you and Paul Silva. Between the B and the A, there's a long gap. You guys hot lapped like an hour ago. What'd you do to the car to just make it spot on good? Because you had to be perfect tonight. He said, you're asking me if I do anything on the race car? I don't know anything what to change on the race car. I don't know what a wrench does on a race car. What do you ask me that kind of question for? I'm like, I felt this big.
Fantastic.
So this is like 25 years into me doing this on TV. But to answer your question maybe with another example, as I ask a question, I want to make sure they are allowed to answer. Chris Economaki, Speed Sport News, always said, ask a question. So it's never a yes or no question. But you also have to be insightful and tell them in a brief way, I know what you did. I know it's your fourth top five. I know that you had a chance to race here 2 years ago and something happened. I have to bring that to light to help them bring out that emotion, whether it be the winner or third place who just lost it on the last lap, whatever it is. So it kind of is on the fly by doing it.
Yeah.
I kind of get used to it, but there are producers in my head saying, ask them this because we have a replay of what happened. So then you have to kind of formulate your second question into that. Or, hey, Jim, first question is going to be this. I'm like, okay.
Right.
So I am directed and tugged around on occasion to do that as well.
As compared to here, I mean, watching your interview with the two guys up here,
Yeah.
you're just kind of like going off of what their answer was. Nobody's talking in your ear,
No.
right? It's just
and
kinda,
this is my sheet of paper that I worked on
There you
for
go.
that. I had some notes. I'm kidding. I had some notes on these guys. I want to be prepared, make them feel comfortable.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, so let me ask you this: as far as like, I'm really big into continuing education. I'm big into preparation. You know, when I'm not at the track, so I do a lot of work understanding the camera and you know having a game plan. What do you do to prepare for these events? Have you taken speech training? Are you doing anything on the broadcast training side of things? What do you do to prepare to do what you do?
Well, I think my preparedness has me still doing it on a national level because I talk too fast and I'm too old.
Okay.
That's kind of what I'm getting the gist of out of some of these people I talk to. Like, hey, can I do that race? We'll let you know.
Okay.
My roles have changed over time, but I've been in the booth. I've been on pit road. I've done public address. I still love doing PA at NASCAR tracks and anywhere I possibly can. I love doing this show. So it keeps me grounded, but they're all different. Talking on radio is different. Talking to MRN's different, like I got to do in the corner at Road America, than it does on television or on public address. So there's different ways I approach it. What I do is I study my brains out on anything, any series that I cover. So, for example, when I go to the Chicago Street Course in 2 weeks' time, I've been asked already by the organizers, hey, you know what? Our audience may not be that diehard NASCAR fan, We don't want to have Emma on our PA. We want to have you tell us some things. We may not be hardcore about it, but we want to know, oh, this is what's going on. Hey, this band's playing at this time. Hey, this driver did this last week. Hey, they're expecting their second child. They don't want me to lather it. I mean, we're talking hardcore people here on our show, but in reality, I get to tell stories. I don't get that chance often, but I also need to be prepared, and I'm kind of scared about it because I'm like, okay, I got my notes, I got my numbers, I got my digits, I know exactly how many top fives. I know that they did. Here's the finishes. I got my notes, but now I've got to be potentially expanding into having a deeper notebook before I get there. So my research is ever present and continues. So if I cover a road course race, I got to know everybody there. If I cover a Vors Compact Touring Series race, maybe on a stream, because I'm there for an ASA Stars National Tour race, I better have my Vors Compact Tour notes ready too.
Awesome. Well, you can tell. I was telling my little brother, he got us hooked up for the race at Daytona. What are they? Is it the Nationwide now or the
Xfinity race?
Xfinity.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, I heard your voice over the PA. I'm like, it's such a familiar, and I'm so proud over the years from that Badger Raceway guy to now 40 years later. So we're in kind of the same realm. I got a couple of years on you, but I feel like that's just been fun to see how you've progressed through it. Last question.
Oh boy.
We all know that Jim's brother Bob is quite the artist sign painter.
He made this sign. He made our backdrop over here. He's been lettering since 1981.
So who's the better artist, you or Bob?
Well, I like to dabble. I like to scribble.
All right.
I'm not on the phone scribbler guy.
All right.
But given a chance, I think he's way better than I am.
Well, sibling
way
rivalry.
Better, way better.
I mean, my brother, we're both in our 60s, and we still kind of, post each other up. I mean, when he comes up, I'm like, dude, you want to go outside? Let's get this done, right? Shoot a quick 10. But and what about him with a microphone? Does he have any skills?
He, I think, was approached to work at Beaver Dam at one point, saying, "Hey, you're Jim's brother. You must be able to talk in a microphone." Right? I don't know if he ever did it or not. It might have been a couple weeks when that was about it. But yeah, we've had a lot of fun over the years because actually, 4 of my brothers raced go-karts at one time.
Really?
We had an old Mack Tool van. The carts were literally bolted to the walls, and down the road we went. And I got to hang out and do that kind of stuff. So it's been a long time.
Well, that's all I got for questions.
We used to sneak into Hales Corners to actually, my brother used to sneak out the basement window to work on a race car, similar to what you did.
Yeah.
And my brothers worked on race cars at Hales Corners on through. My brother John's now had Hendrick since 2001. He's part of 193 NASCAR Cup Series victories in Hendrick Motorsports' career. He's got a little tabulation going there.
Unreal.
So there's kind of cool things in our family that were bit by the bug like you have been.
Yeah, lifelong. I look around, I see Pat Haney, Mark Bruner, Jim Hendricks. We all got white hair now. Back in the day, these guys were racing and winning races. Yeah, that's right. We got to show that with pride. But it's lifelong friends and relationships that I feel like this racing is one of my funnest parts of it. I think.
And I do enjoy the fact when I see you at a track, I know it's a big deal.
Yeah. Well,
it is a big deal. Dave's here. All right, cool. We're going to see some cool shots.
Yeah.
Just 12, though. I can only see 12.
That's it. That's all you're going to get. That's right. I got to search. And I tell people all the time, look, just because, and Facebook is really known for, posting your victories. There's some that say, man, I had a hard night. I really, didn't do well tonight. But generally, it's all your victories, right? And I tell people all the time, if you knew how many failures I had on that night of shooting to get the victories, they don't believe it. Because I'm like, I may be pushing the settings. I might be, man, this is going to be a shot where it's not going to be clear, but I'm going to try this. Fail, fail, fail. Boom, there it is. And then I'll change the lens, and then I'll try something different. What can I do? So it is, for me, after 48 years, something that just kind of fuels me to keep trying to create, and that's one of the funnest parts, aside from seeing all the lifelong friends. So
it's been great to have you on the show.
Right on. I tell you what, I've got to cross this off my list. I interviewed Jim Trado, man. How about that? And his answers were spot on. So
I want a big hand for Dave Olson, everybody.
Thank you very much.
We love
buddy.
it. We got the passion. And thank you for sharing it and keeping those memories alive in photography. I'm telling you, man, he's one of the best out there, and it's great to have Dave on the show. Thank you, Dave. We're coming back with David Gravel in a moment on the Racing Roundup Show. Stay tuned.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Roundup Show. Check out our website, racingroundup.show.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors.
Adams Towing offers expert heavy-duty towing services for the entire state of Wisconsin from their Plover headquarters. Since 1961, 3 generations of heavy-duty towing specialists and racing supporters have provided towing, flatbed, and reload service, plus winching and upright, long boom service, truck starting, and cleanup. Adams Towing proudly sponsors Ryan Farrell's Super Late Model team. Put Adams Towing and their experienced team and their fleet of heavy-duty tow trucks and rollbacks to work for you. Call Adams Towing today at 715-344-3836.
Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln is a great place to watch NASCAR races, Packer games, Brewer games, and to meet up with your friends. Joey and Jim Lynch pride themselves on their friendly hospitality and welcome Racing Roundup listeners to stop in to watch all the races on their 14 TVs and flat screens. Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln has been a longtime supporter of racers, including National Road Racing Motorcycle Champion Dan Belansky. Relax around the big neighborhood bar with 2 pool tables and dartboards surrounded by TVs. Whether you're meeting up before the game, want to watch the races with race fans, or just want to grab a cold one, head to Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 Lincoln and West Dallas.
427-1000 American Foundation.
When your foundation is in need of repair, you need 3 things: an honest opinion, quality work, and fair prices. Call American.
Trust and dedication. That's American Foundation.
Call American right now for huge savings.
427-1000 American Foundation.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street in Drexel are experts in automotive repair. For 35 years and counting, the Napa Certified Car Care Center at Oak Creek Automotive handles emission testing, tires, and complete auto, truck, and SUV repair. From oil changes to transmission replacement. 414-761-3250 to schedule your free inspection appointment. For all your vehicle repair needs, head to South 27th in Drexel to the experts at Oak Creek Automotive.
Grassroots drag racing is open to everyone at Great Lakes Dragway in Union Grove. Make GLD your home track. Come and enjoy the show or challenge your friends to be part of the show. Bracket racing for all classes and juniors opens this weekend. Pro classes, street classes, and even bikes and sled classes. Check our website for the most updated calendar and upcoming big shows. GreatLakesDragaway.com.
Like our show on Facebook and share our content with other race fans. We hope to see you at one of our upcoming shows too. Join racers, other race fans, and win prizes. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. We're glad to be joined by a gentleman who's going to be busy here in the state of Wisconsin very soon. You know why? He races with the World of Outlaws, a full-time racer, second in points the last 3 seasons. He's racing in Wisconsin as soon as this weekend. Let's welcome in the World of Outlaws Series points leader. Where'd he go? Okay. I thought I saw him on the phone. All right. Well, hey, there he is. Let's start over. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. We're glad to be joined by a driver who's finished second in points in the World of Outlaws the last 3 years. Guess what? It's his time to shine. 9 wins in 30 races. Let's welcome in the point leader in the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, David Gravel. David, welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. Can you hear us okay, David? Okay, we're going to try that again. That's fun. We'll do that again. This portion of our show is brought to you by the Midwest Truck Series, supported by the Epic Media Company and Pathfinder Chassis. Saturday night series race was rained out at Marshfield. The next Midwest Truck Series race is Sunday night, July 7th, as a prelude to the Nationals. For all the latest news and series info, visit MidwestTruckSeries.com. Here's another reminder as well. So watch our TV show on set your DVRs or watch it in person live at 11:30 a.m. every Saturday morning on CW18 in Milwaukee. It airs weekly, featuring 30 minutes of our Tuesday program. All right, we're going to redial. We're going to reconnect with David Gravel here in a moment. Hopefully we can get him back on the video and audio portions working properly. We also want to thank our friends at Schleifer Auto Body and Sales in Lannon for your next auto body repair or your daily driver or fleet of work trucks since 1974. 4 generations of racers have been getting it done the right way. They work with all insurance companies. Search Schleifer Auto Body on Facebook to get in touch with this family of racers and to check out their latest award-winning classic restoration projects. When it comes to classic cars, they got it right. They can work with all insurance companies. They can get you figured out. Whether it's a big project or a little one, Schleifer Auto Body and Sales in Lannon. We also want to remind you next Tuesday, we're going to be live at Wilmot Raceway at 5 p.m. Hey, David, you got us now? Mr. Gravel, you got us? Okay, we're trying to connect with David Gravel. We want to remind you this coming Tuesday, July 2nd, we're going to be at Wilmot Raceway. It's going to be a live show with at 5 o'clock with a bunch of racers that are racing that night. It's a point show for the Wisconsin Wingless, as well as the 604 crate engine wing sprint cars they're introducing at Wilmot this year, and another class that's racing as well. So there's a lot of racing going on. It's carload night, $30 to get in for the entire carload of people. And we're going to also expect fireworks after the show or at some point during the program as well. So come on down to LLC for their support of our program. They're bringing us our DeAngelis Construction Roadshow from inside the gate at Wilmot Raceway next week. We also remind you in 2 weeks' time, ready for these calendar updates? July 9th, it's the Slinger Nationals, the 45th running of the Slinger Nationals, and Rich Bickle said, I need to race that race. It's the 45th annual. So Bickle, out of retirement again, will be racing in the Slinger Nationals on Tuesday night, July 9th. We'll be out at the front gate and the fan midway for that one. We're going to hang out with you fans for a while before we turn into the grandstands and figure out how they're going to race, because qualifying will be incredibly close. We'll have race drivers out there with us as well. That's next Tuesday, 2 weeks from now, Tuesday, July 9th. We'll be in the front gate parking lot area at Slinger Speedway, thanks to our friends at Keith's Marina and Oak Creek Automotive for that DeAngelis Construction Roadshow involvement. And then in 3 weeks' time, you get ready for this, we're still going to be on the road. July 16th, we're going to be at the Greenfield Gallery Car Show in Mugwanago at the Heaven City Restaurant property. Ralph Herb and the gang are going to be helping us welcome with a bunch of racers there. We'll talk about the actual anniversary of Badger Car Club, 65 years now in running. They have a big presence there at the Greenfield Gallery Car Show. Again, Heaven City property, 278th and West National Avenue in Mugwanago is where we're going to be hanging out for the opportunity to hang out with you as well with a car show. I know Frank Smith had brought his Ford there in the past. I know that Dennis Widener, who is now no longer involved day-to-day with Widener's St. Martin's Inn. They actually closed business on June 1. So hopefully we see Dennis there with his beautiful car. Maybe Itch will bring out his 1928 Ford he's got here tonight with us. That'd be kind of cool. And we now are seeing, hopefully, can you hear us, David? David Gravel, can you hear us, buddy? Can you see us? All right.
No, I can't hear.
Oh, he can't hear us. Okay. All right. We'll try one more time. Okay. We're going to try one more time to get David Gravel on. That's okay. But we really want to get him on the program because there's a lot of good racing coming up in the near future involving David Gravel, including this weekend at Cedar Lake in New Richmond, Wisconsin. How about we do this? How about we talk about some short track results you haven't talked about yet? We haven't talked about the Modified Security Solution short track report, and Derek Crane is our next guest as well on the program. Brought his beautiful helmet down here and his beautiful wife. We'll do some Modified Security Solution short track updates here for you. If you want a custom-made security door, program card access, alarm system for your home or business, on-call locksmiths and more, go to bonafidesafe.com. They protect what you value at Bonafide. You can call them online, 262-790-9400. They're the state's largest security and safety company when it comes to all things. It's a lock, bonafidesafe.com. We'll start with what did get in on a wet, soggy race weekend around Wisconsin and the upper Midwest. Slinger Super Speedway Sunday night at 45 late models sign in, and the Oak Creek Automotive sponsored Ryan Goodneck beat them all. Congrats, Ryan and the team. He won the feature. It was a battle for side-by-side for the lead for 26 laps with Brady Bill. Ryan Goodneck prevailed. Finishing second through seventh in the stacked field were Evan Hassler, Tom Behrens, Mike Held, Penn Sauter, Zach Prunty, and Driver X, John Reynolds Jr. Congrats to Sportsman feature winner at Slinger, Alex Lupashinsky. Morgan Zerwinski won her first Slinger Bees feature on the same night. Fellow lady racer Rachel Zarapata set fast time. We also heard from Matthew Wandry tonight. He had his best run of the season. Crossed the line he thought was sixth. That's kind of cool in the 25-lapper. Lincoln Kane won his first Legends feature in his home city. He lives in Slinger. Great job by Lincoln Kane getting his first Legends feature victory at his home track, beating birthday boy Dylan Schwanbeck for the victory. Bentley Thompson on raced past Cole Trickle-Kurth really on the last lap. It was the last lap to snatch the Bandolero win. This Sunday night at Slinger is fireworks, super late models, Slinger Bees, High School Racing Association, and figure eights. Our coverage of the Sunday night racing at Slinger Speedway is presented by Ricardo's Pizza.
I know my audio is working.
Okay, his audio is working.
I can't hear you.
Okay, good to know. Let's get him on the phone. We'll just get him on the phone. That's cool. Yep, thank you. We want to continue on here. Our coverage of Sunday night Slinger races are brought to you by Ricardo's Pizza.
I restarted my phone. I've done everything that I could do.
Gotcha.
Closed it out several times.
Thank you, Dave. We're going to try to ring you.
I don't know why it worked on the test, and now it's not.
Yep. We're going to give you a ring. We'll get you on the phone.
I can call in if you want.
We will. Yep. We'll call you. Yep. Thanks to Ricardo's Pizza for our Slinger results. It was only a matter of time for feature win number one for Kaukauna Racing with Chad Butts in the same sentence. He's finished second or third 4 nights in a row. Now he finally won one on Thursday at Kaukauna. The start of the race was paced by my nephew Travis Rodewald and Grant Griesbach. Griesbach got the early lead, a couple of early spins, a couple of cautions. Put butts into third on lap 7 on the second restart of the race, and wouldn't you know, he got the lead on lap 12 and never looked back to win the race. The 30-lapper, congrats to Chad Butts for the victory. Ken Sports sponsors our coverage of WIR and the Fox River Racing Club. Ken Sports in Kaukauna and Green Bay is Wisconsin's largest power sports dealer, home of the best names in fun, new and used. 2 wheels on the road, trail riding, or on the water. Visit kensports.com and kensportsgreenbay.com. TJ Sporowski won the late model feature at Kaukauna after battle with Brazen Bennett. Cody Vanderloop's race on the quarter mile. It was Mason Kalmus over Brady Vanderloop in the sport trucks. The bumper-to-bumper All Sprint Series had 4 nights of racing in Indiana with the Maverick Series. Emerson Axum and Jacob Allen won the first 2 nights. And Tyler Courtney, with all the weather issues at Huset's, traveled on down and won the last 2 IRA Maverick co-sanctioned races in Indiana. He won a big-time race on Sunday night in Terre Haute. I was watching on Flow Racing. He made a move you got to look up. You got to watch it. Go to Flow, go to YouTube, whatever you can. Tyler Courtney went from the outside of turn 3 and third to the inside of the front stretch, leading off of turn 4 with 2 lap cars and 2 leaders. He passed them all to take the lead of the race and never looked back. It was an amazing run by Sunshine Tyler Courtney to win that race on Sunday night at Terre Haute. Next up for IRA Outlaw Sprints, Seymour on Friday night and Little Beaver Dam Raceway on Saturday night, along with the Wisconsin Wingless and Badger Midgets on Sunday. It's going to be kind of cool. Sunday, the Angel Park Speedway is racing. They got fireworks, too. Lots going on. Congrats to Franklin Motorsports. First to Mini Mojo. Jacob Majeski on his Mini Swift Class win this past Sunday during the Mini Millwright Shootout at Millwright Raceway in Dallas. We talked about Badger Kart Club, all the history. They had a big money race. $30,000 was in the purse this past weekend, and it's only the tune-up for this coming weekend. The USPKS is the United States Professional Kart Series. They're coming to town. The nation's, if not the world's best racers are racing in Dowson, Wisconsin this coming weekend. Practice on Thursday, racing on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Actual official practices on Friday, racing on Saturday and Sunday at Badger Raceway, now called Millwright Raceway. Visit badgerkartclub.com to find out more. Actually, when Mini Mojo won his race in his class, he won $3,000. Senior class has paid out $5,000 to win. Show guest and early kart racer from Reckless Motorsports in the past, Brandon Lemke, cashed in on 2 second-place finishes and a fast time. He bagged $5,100. Lots going on in the world of racing. We are now going to be joined by a gentleman who is very busy. He's headed to Wisconsin this weekend. He is the current World of Outlaws Point Series leader. Let's welcome in via the telephone, David Gravel. David, welcome to the Racing Roundup Show.
You gotta love technology. It worked on our test.
I hear you.
And now it's not working anymore.
You sound great. Thanks for joining us on this show, man. Thanks for every effort to be with us as well. We are excited to have you back in Wisconsin. New Richmond, Cedar Lake is this weekend. And then you got, July 10, 12, 13. You're back in Wisconsin again at Beaver Dam, the rescheduled race, and then you're racing at Wilmot. There's a lot going on for the World of Outlaws Series point leader. And I do have to mention this, though, David. You are coming off a big weekend. 1 year ago, we had you on the show to the day. This Tuesday was the day 2 days after you won $250,000 at Huset's Speedway, a racetrack that means a ton to you. There was a lot of rain in the area this past weekend. Washed things out. It was a struggle for a lot of people. What are your thoughts and takeaways from a weekend that was going to be such a big anticipation that turned into a catastrophic, a bunch of rain, and you couldn't do much about it?
Yeah, it's not good for anybody, the families and the fans and everybody that came out and took time off of work and, the race teams, the racetrack, everybody's a loser. Everybody lost money, lost time, lost their belongings, lost motorhomes. There's probably, I would say about 20 motorhomes that were, there underwater and are now destroyed. So a lot of crazy things happened that week. And, the big build up to having $250,000 to win and $100,000 to win in 1 week at the same track and to race for none of it is definitely a bummer. And, the guys at Huset's Speedway have been trying to build that event up here the last 2 years. This is going on for its 3rd year. And, just takes a lot of wind out of your sails for everybody at the racetrack. And obviously you had all the best sprint car guys there, if it's High Limit and Kyle Larson and all the Outlaws at the same place at the same time. So big bummer that happened.
And when it comes to those highs, it's amazing to know that you are at the top of your game right now. You are at the highest of highs. It seems like everybody that you're racing against is the best of the best right now. I mean, you mentioned the different series, but in reality, with what you're able to do with your team, it's got to be neat to know that you attack it every time, attack it every possible time. Those 9 wins this year, some of the tracks you've won at Volusia, Lincoln, Peevely, Sharon, Eldora, most recently Knoxville. I mean, there's a lot of big races you get to race every time out. The World of Outlaws is a big deal. I mean, it's something I can't fathom that you are making a living doing this at this highest level What's going right this year for you, David Gravel, when it comes to preparation, keeping the equipment together, not having any small issues that kind of compound what could be a points loss on a given night?
Yeah, our car's been very fast. We've had a lot of speed this year, and luckily we've been up towards the front 90% of the time. We do actually have 2 DNFs this year, and realistically, we should have over 100-point lead if it wasn't for 2 accidents, one being my fault and one not being my fault. But I feel like I've been driving pretty aggressive this year, but trying to race smart, but the pace is faster than ever, and everybody's driving aggressive, and we're everything is so tight, and with the World of Outlaws, there's 8 really good guys on the tour, and we're fighting every single night.
And it's amazing to know it's every lap. I mean, when I watch Dirt Vision, or I watch you guys on highlights, it's amazing to know there is no easy way around this. You got Donnie Schatz just 56 points behind you. You've got you mentioned 8 guys. 8th in points right now is a Wisconsin racer that's got a bunch of wins in IRA, 10-time champion Billy Baylog. He's making a run at this. I mean, you got that. You got a lot of young kids as well. Buddy Kofoid's making a full season run at this, and he's really been kind of challenging things. I mean, it's amazing to know how good you have to be every night. What's the cycle routine like for you, David, when it comes to, okay, we know New Richmond's this weekend, 2-day show. You had Houston's setup stuff. Is that going to be used at all, or is the Houston setup not what you're going to use at all, or different cars for this coming weekend, for example?
Yeah, different car. We kind of had a game plan. We were going to run a specific car at Houston's, and we put that car to the side for when we go back in Labor Day. But new chassis, new car this weekend at Cedar Lake, and we're going to plan on running that for the whole summer. Everything through Eldora and Williams Grove and all that stuff. So we're bringing a fresh piece out, and we're looking forward to it.
We'll let you come back to Wisconsin as well. It's going to be fun to see a race. It's a makeup date Wednesday, July 10 for the Jim Boyd Memorial at Beaver Dam. And then we got 2 big nights, Friday night, Saturday night, the same racetrack in Wisconsin, Wilmot Raceway. That's a 2-day show. How comforting is that knowing that you have a chance to get it right 2 nights in a row at the same track with as much traveling as you do?
Yeah, it's awesome. I love Cedar Lake. It's a track that's been really good to me. And, man, we won there finally last year. I think I had 8 second-place finishes at Cedar Lake.
Wow.
So to finally get a win there last year was great. And we're really excited to go back there. We were really strong that last event. And we love slick racetracks and racy racetracks. So looking forward to the challenge and looking forward to hopefully getting a couple wins.
Hey, before we turn you loose, I know last year, or maybe it was the year prior when we had on our program, we talked about the merchandise and apparel business that is David Gravel Racing, and you're doing a lot of your own shipping. Do you have people now to do your own shipping of all the merchandise you're selling now? Because must be a lot of shipping to do these days if people aren't buying your merch at the racetrack.
Yeah, it's a team effort. I have my sister Victoria that kind of runs my online store out of Indianapolis, and I hired a fellow Wisconsin guy, Ken Nichols, and he runs my T-shirt trailer this year, and he drives it all over the country, and he's a DGR employee this year, and just trying to spend more time at Levi at home and try to get that stress off my shoulders. And so far it's working. I've been able to focus on racing, and so far the results are there.
So our friend Ken Nichols, you mentioned, I'm glad he's part of your operation. He also raced sprint cars. He was a business owner that said, I want to go sprint car racing. He started in a 410, I think it was. Does he ever bring out his photo album saying, hey, David, I was at this track. This is me racing in this car. I can tell you a few things. Or is it a matter of him saying, yeah, I did my stuff a long time ago. I want to help you win more races. What's it like being around Ken? He's an high-energy guy.
I don't think he's got any pictures of his sprint car not bent up or crashed upside down from what I hear.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. I can tell you that for being a guy in a microphone watching him qualify. It was something special. But it's kind of cool. You got racers helping you out. That's really neat that Ken now lives in Florida, and he and his wife Melanie, I'm glad to see that they're helping you in a big way. That's cool.
Yeah, no, they're great people. Ken works hard for me and loves racing, and he's in a point of his life. He wants to do some traveling and using his motorhome, and hopefully he's happy with how it's going, and I am as well. So it's been fun, and hopefully we get some more wins and sell a lot of T-shirts.
Yeah, this weekend you got a chance to buy a couple of shirts off the winning trailer this Friday and Saturday at New Richmond, Cedar Lake Speedway. And then we mentioned those dates coming back to Wisconsin, July 10, Beaver Dam, July 12 and 13, Friday and Saturday night, big to-do, band on Thursday, pancake breakfast on Saturday morning at Wilmot Raceway. Information at wilmotraceway.com. How about a big hand for David Gravel? David, thank you for your patience in joining us tonight.
Yep. Thanks for having me, guys. Not sure why the audio wasn't coming through my phone, but next time, hopefully, we get that cleaned up, and we'll see you hopefully this next month in Wisconsin somewhere. If not, we'll hopefully be talking to you next year.
Sounds great. David Gravel, thank you so much for your time. Point leader in the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series. What a patient guy. What a great guy. And I'm telling you, man, he stands on the gas like nobody else. I've seen him attack it, and he is primed. He's ready to be that first-time World of Outlaws champion this year, holding just a 56-point lead over Donnie Schatz and the whole cast of excellent racers. Bill Balog's 8th in the points right now. Looking forward to having Bill back home. It seems like he races really well in Wisconsin, whether it be the All-Stars or now racing full-time with the World of Outlaws and the Anderson's Maple Syrup-sponsored 17B. We're taking a commercial break. When we come back, we're talking to Derek Crane. Derek Crane is going to be our final guest tonight. He brought his helmet. We're giving that away after the show. He finally said we can give it away. Okay, maybe not. We'll be right back with Derek. Stick around.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Share what you love about short track racing on our Facebook page and on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We'll be right back with more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Get your whole family involved in affordable, competitive kart racing at Millwright Raceway in Dousman, Wisconsin, home of the Badger Kart Club. Walk the pit area, talk to racers, and check out the action from the grandstands. There's a play area for the kids and great food at the concession stand. Spectator admission is free. Badger Kart Club points racers and National Touring Series race on the challenging paved road course most Sundays from April through September. Badger Kart Club is well established and well respected. There's 15 classes and over 100 drivers racing every week. From ages 5 to 75, kart racing offers competition for generations of racers of all ages. Bring the kids and check out kart racing for yourself at one of America's finest kart tracks. This is where Alan Kowicki, Danica Patrick, Sam Mayer, and Josh Palicki got their start. Millwright Raceway is just south of I-94 in Dousman, 35 miles west of Milwaukee, and 45 miles east of Madison. For all the latest information, directions, and race schedule, visit BadgerKartClub.com.
ARR has been recycling for over 80 years and is here to help. Take them your recyclable metals and they'll pay you cash. ARR buys aluminum, brass, copper, lead, and steel. And attention contractors, ARR has a bonus program just for you that puts more cash in your pocket. And who doesn't like more cash? Find their full list of accepted materials at ARR1938.com. ARR with locations in West Allis and Waukesha. If you have questions, give them a call. 414-321-4134. ARR Recycling since 1938.
Eliminate the hassles of planning a trip to the races. Hook up with Boring Bob's escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob offers transportation, lodging, race tickets, nightlife, shuttle service, and more. Boring Bob knows all the back roads into and out of the racetrack to get you in and out fast. Pick one or pick them all. Go in style to Daytona, Bristol, Phoenix, Las Vegas, and more. He has decades of experience and industry contacts galore. You name the race, let Boring Bob do the rest. Call Boring Bob today to make plans now to go on one of Boring Bob's famous escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob's always at 414-321-1307. That's 414.
To watch show archives, see photos from decades of our program, and links to support our awesome show advertisers. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Welcome back to our program. A couple things more to cover in our Bonafide Security Solutions short track report as we're in the middle of a lot of great things going on. And unfortunately, rain really washed out a bunch of different races, including all of the racing that USAC had planned for this past weekend in Wisconsin, including Wilmot Raceway on Saturday night with the USAC National Sprints. CK Contractors, LLC.com brings us the Wilmot Raceway and Wisconsin Wingless Sprints coverage. Hire the pros at CK Contractors for Lake Michigan shore restoration, lot grading, excavation, retention, pond building, and more. This Saturday night at Wilmot is Walter Night. Check out career opportunities working with the racers at Walter Inc. Join the racing crowd to catch our show live Tuesday night. That's next Tuesday, week from tonight, at Wilmot Raceway. We'll do a D'Angelo's Construction Roadshow. Special showtime is 5 p.m. inside the front gate because it's race night, carload night, $30, 40 fireworks after the show. Looking forward to having you join us there at Wilmot Raceway this coming Tuesday. Gates open at 5, racing at 6:45. I think it might open a little before that if our show's on at 5 o'clock to get things rolling. Rain did cancel the racing this past Saturday night at Dells Raceway Park, but this Saturday is the $5,000 to win Dairyland 100. Alive for 5. Super Late Model Series race number 3. Time trials at 4:30, racing at 6. Tonight's DRP coverage is sponsored by Diamond Wheels, your destination for stock car, road racing, autocross, beadlock wheels for off-road and dirt track, custom chrome finished wheels, and more. Visit DiamondRacingWheels.com. Results of an engine test we talked about. The Milwaukee Mile has altered the points a little bit for Dawson Sutton, who's now in the top 5 in the ASA Series standings for the ASA Stars. They race next on Saturday, July 20th, the Redbud 400 at Anderson Speedway. I'll be there to cover that one. And a couple of racing families could use your prayers and monetary support if you care to contribute. A friend of the show, Lance Fossbender, suffered burns to his body in a scary sprint car accident a week and a half ago. In his recovery, he asked us to pass along his gratitude for his wife and family in their care for him. And also, Lance says his spirits are high and gives all his gratitude to the racing community for lifting him up throughout this so far. Go to GoFundMe.com and search Lance Fossbender. There's also a GoFundMe page set up by friends of Kyle and Carter Stark. It's the Stark Family Recovery Fund. Their father and son race shop in Marshall, Wisconsin, are literally blown away by a EF1 tornado in Marshall. That's between Milwaukee and Madison, closer to Madison. But their shop, I think, is a wall and a half left. Race cars are in there, but everything else is blown to bits. It's amazing. Their trophies are gone. Pictures are gone. They collected car doors for every car they've ever raced with his son Carter on through, Bando's on through. They're trying to find those. It's just not pleasant right now, and their house was damaged as well in that storm this past weekend. So if you have a chance to support them, we had them both on our guests as our guests last year at the Slinger Nationals program. There's a GoFundMe page set up for the Stark Family Recovery on GoFundMe.com. So keep that in mind as well. This week, we are very happily joined by a driver who has been anxiously waiting to talk to us. We'll start this out officially when the button goes like that. The button just went like that. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. Glad to have you with us. This week's Making the Cut driver of the week is Derek Crane. Want to tell you more about Making the Cut. They are excellent at making asphalt look perfect, whether it be seal coating, new asphalt, seal coating. They got it all figured out, crack sealing. For brand new asphalt paving, patchwork, you get it. Seal coating, it's got to be Making the Cut Asphalt Services. Visit mtcasphalt.com to find out more on how to get started. And now here's our driver who's making the cut this week, Derek Crane. Derek, thanks for being on the show.
Oh, thanks for having us.
It's exciting to know you've got a lot going in the right direction. You've got a show kind of like this one, too. There's a lot going on in your world.
Yeah, I thought today's show started at 6:30, but
Perfect.
It started at 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just how my life works right now. I'm just running late to staging.
You brought your helmet as you normally do. I thank you for that. We actually have a helmet stand that we don't have with us tonight, but in general, it's like, ooh, Derek might bring his helmet. I need to have the stand. It's not here.
Yes.
But that was a tradition we started many years ago because it's cool to know how much care people now realize. Because I think I asked you the first time, like, hey, can you bring your helmet? I like to put it.
Yeah.
It's been a tradition since. This year's helmet is inspired by what design this time?
Oh man, so Jack's helmet design knocked it out of the park. My wife and I, we went to Zion National Park last summer, autumn, and there was just a sunset, and I just took a picture of it, and I was like, hey, can you like mirror this sunset
on a helmet?
On a helmet, yeah. And he's like, do you still want your bird wings on? I'm like, I have to have a bird wings with crane, you know.
Yeah.
So on the backside, you can't really see it, but there's some mountains and the moon and stars.
You can turn it around so people can see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Mountains.
Yep.
Yeah. That's cool.
So he did a great job. And this Rouge helmet was actually supposed to come out in 2020. Something happened in 2020. But they finally got up their production and stuff, so they actually got these helmets out. So it's new. I'm just waiting for tear-offs. But
do you have to have special tear-offs because this helmet is unique to dirt racing?
The posts are just a little bit further apart than the other Rouge helmets that I got.
Okay. So this is the helmet style is different than what you have.
Yeah, the visor is a little bit narrower too, so that's nice too because the tear-offs will fill it up better.
Yep.
But yeah, so I'm just waiting for tear-offs and then I'm gonna rip it.
That'd be on the front of the shield.
Yeah.
So have you worn the helmet yet? Looks brand new.
Yeah, I mean, Ashley's come out to the garage and see me with my helmet sitting in the race car. She laughs.
We got to get in the mode. Get in the mindset.
Yeah.
And it might be like, if I change my belts a little bit, or if I do this over here,
Yeah.
It's all part of the
I go
process.
faster when I take naps in my car.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
Derek Crane joining us. When you're not napping in your race car, where are you racing it?
Everywhere, really, right now. Indiana's got a new series out there. It's called Steel Blocks. So basically the rule is it's just got to be a steel block. You can run injection, carburetor, 433, 418, 410, whatever you want.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of weird because, like, in the beginning of the nights, the bigger motors will usually qualify better than you. But then as the track slicks off, like, the crate motors are like right in the primo spot.
Wow.
So we've been kind of dabbling between Wisconsin and Indiana, just doing more of an outlaw schedule this year. So it's pretty nice.
Is it all wingless stuff?
Yeah, all wingless.
Okay.
Yep. So we won the first night out at Circle City, which was cool with our little 604 motor.
Yeah.
And then next week, finished 4th with the American Sprint Car Tour, Kankakee. And then from there on, I just decided to start crashing a lot. Had David Walsh land on top of me.
It was a purposeful effort, and you accomplished it.
Yeah, exactly. 4th night, we flipped the car, so we're already on our 2nd car. So that's how the season's going.
That's a lot of work to do, a lot of traveling.
Yeah, a lot of red eyes. Because Friday night at Circle City, Saturday night at Wilmot. Doesn't help. We rush home, get home 4 or 5 in the morning, wake up, start cleaning, and then this rain keeps hitting us.
Yep.
So that sucks, but.
Circle City Raceway's in Indianapolis. It's a new racetrack.
Yeah, 2020 they opened.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's probably one of the newest tracks you get to run on. How's it been there on a consistent Friday night basis?
It's almost Plymouth.
Oh, really?
So if you just go up there first time, put Plymouth on there, like you're going to be kind of in the ballpark pretty quickly.
All right.
Cushion is on the wall, though. Plymouth, it's probably a car length off, but it's on the wall. It's sketch, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'd say it is. When you're racing here in Wisconsin, is it with the Autometer Wisconsin Wingless primarily?
Yeah, in Wilmot. We're going to go to Beaver Dam Saturday. We were going to go down to Southern Indiana for the American Sprint Car Tour because they had a doubleheader, but they have a new promoter for their Saturday track, so they've already canceled that.
Oh.
So I'm not going to drive 8 hours for one track.
Yep.
So we're going to be running Beaver Dam. Maybe Angel Park. I like to crash there a lot, too, so I don't know if we should go.
Well, in reality, it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to get this car just right. Are you going through changing the chassis when you're repairing it? Because, I mean, this is the time to say, okay, I bent something. I got to figure out what it is, but I also maybe want to change something because I've had a better feel with this tie rod, this length, that kind of thing.
Yeah. The first time with David Walsh landing on top of me, it was just, a shock and the hood to be repaired, so we just left the car as is.
Okay.
But after flipping in turn 3 the next weekend, there's something weird with the left front on the chassis, so that's why we got 3 chassis, so we just put the second car together. And 2 weekends ago was the first time ever in that chassis. The other 2 cars I've had laps in. So I was a little nervous about, a new characteristic, and it's got promise. It's got speed.
All right. So when do you want to go racing in Wisconsin? Where do you target maybe in the next month or so? Where will we find Derek Crane racing in Wisconsin?
We'll be racing at Wilmot July 2nd.
Okay.
So that's going to be a blast there. We're hopefully making the World of Outlaw because we're not members just because we're kind of doing the Outlaws kind of schedule.
Yep.
So I'm still waiting to hear if we're eligible for that or not. But if so, we're going to be there. Trying to think of July, because I think July 27th is the next race at Wilmot. But I think we're going to be in Circle City a few times between then and there. So
there's a lot going on. Who all helps you when it comes to getting this car up and down the road?
Okay, get ready because there's a lot. We got Ashley, my mom and dad, Kyle, Nathan, Lauren, Cooper, Caleb, Maddie Schutzen, Dave Schutzen, Elliot, Hunter, and our great sponsors, Next Gen Pumps, Paul Minato, RevTech Manufacturing, Hold My Beer, Kenosha, Bricks and Minifigs of Kenosha, Rouge Helmets, Ashley Bree Photo, Toro Tents, Mirror Image Coatings, Painters Plus, Jack's Helmet Designs, Pinnacle Media Productions, Daybreak Church, Wise Guys Barbershop, and the original DC David Crane with Jeremy and Kylie Crane.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You got all the support.
Yeah, it's how we can wreck a car and be back out there.
How about a big hand for Derek Crane for joining us here tonight on the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks, Derek.
Thanks for having me.
We're not done yet. Write that down. He's going to be on the TV show. You mentioned a lot of people there. They've been around. They've been helping you for a long time, haven't they?
Yeah. We have a lot of people returning, which is really nice.
Yeah.
That means they're believing in our product and stuff like that. Because the thing that I like to tell our partners is we're a race team, but it's also an experience. So we do a podcast on Monday nights.
Yeah, how's that going? Tell us more about where we can see that.
Yeah, so Monday night, 7 p.m. Central. It sounds weird, but just have someone come over to the house, go down in the basement, and just hit record on Facebook Live, and we just talk racing for about an hour.
Are they all sprint car people you're talking to?
No.
Right.
We got drag racers, sprint cars. I mean, last night we had Jake Zelmer, which I've met on the show 3 years ago here. So we had him on last night. We were just talking about my brother Nathan's indoor racing event, just how much fun it is. So we're kind of busy with that on Mondays.
Yeah.
And then shop nights are on Tuesdays.
So we're missing shop night tonight.
Yeah, well, because the rain actually kind of helped out.
I guess it not much to fix or repair from last week to this week. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. So then we just make fun of racing too on our TikTok and Facebook reels and stuff like that, which is
What's the
always
reaction been, and how far away are these people now catching on the fact that you have fun doing this?
We got fans that tune in a lot from Florida and Washington. Those two states surprise me the most.
All right.
We got a lot in Indiana now, just because we've been going down there a lot more.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of Wilmot people, IRA people tune in, so it's a lot of fun.
Cool. I like the concept. It's kind of cool. You get to talk racing.
Yeah, it's just bench
with
racing.
racers. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like doing that too.
Yeah, it's a great show.
It's neat though that you get a chance to do that. Has it changed your perspective on anything, knowing now you're learning more about different disciplines? Like you mentioned, Jake Zelmer, who's been racing late models and super late models. Now he's a spotter to a lot of different teams and advising young drivers and such.
Yeah. The first thing I noticed was really nice.
Yes.
We're here to finish
Yeah.
first, not second.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot more small talking and just a lot more of just like taking the helmet off and just, finding out who the driver is. Like the first, 20 minutes, we're just spending time like, what do you do for a living? What's your favorite number?
Yeah.
Is there a number that you don't like? Was there a driver that pissed you off? Kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
First laps. Do you remember your first laps and
Yeah.
kind of where you started? So yeah, it's just eye-opening with that, and it just kind of snowballed from there.
It's fun. With all the racing you got going on, you're taking time out to have some fun and expose other racers to what they're doing, and hopefully get more people to the racetrack. That's a really good concept.
Exactly, and Ashley's awesome because then that means that's one less night that we can't do anything.
That is true. That is true. Your wife has, well, at least you're doing it in the basement, so you're close by.
Yes.
You're not somewhere else.
Yep.
On a Tuesday night. Like my wife is right now, not here. But she was here last week. I tell you, it's a lot of fun being on this program. How about a big hand for Derek Crane joining us tonight on this program, the Racing Roundup Show. Derek, thanks a lot.
Thanks for having us.
Really appreciate it. Got the helmet here. You can find out more about the design. See Derek at the racetrack. He's racing at Wilmot Raceway when we're going to be going to Wilmot next week, Tuesday, July 2nd. That's our next Racing Roundup Show live show. Check our Saturday morning shows at 11:30 every Saturday on CW18 in Milwaukee. It's a 30-minute program covering the best of our shows and contents from our Tuesday night program. So I hope you enjoyed that. Tell your friends to join it, and make sure you share it with your friends that we have a TV show as well on this program. We want to thank our special all-star cast of crew members. Yes, we should do that, shouldn't we? You see the credits at the end of the show, but I want to say personally thank you to Dave Schmalzer, Matt Rapina, Greg Lapine, Sam Trado, Dean Strom, Sherry Prague. We also have great support with Jill Lapine, Faye Hendricks, Mark Goodman, Bruce Blodgett, and a lot of people that continue to help us say, hey, what can you need a hand with? Thank you, Bill Holland, as well, for being here and helping out on occasion when we need it as well. It takes a lot of people to make this show a lot of fun, and for 40 years we've been having a blast with you. We'll see you next Tuesday, live from Wilmot Raceway at 5 o'clock. Until then, set your DVRs, support your local racing, and have at it, racers.
We hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Remember to tell your friends and watch our 30-minute TV show on Milwaukee CW18 this Saturday morning at 11:30. Like our show on Facebook, follow and interact with us on X and Instagram at Racing Roundup. Join the racing crowd at our live show and win prizes. For our latest show schedule and to watch all of our shows on demand, visit our website, RacingRoundupShow.com. We are delivering fresh content every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central. Until next time, race fans, on behalf of our entire crew, this is Dean Strom reminding you to support your local racetracks, set your DVRs, have at it, racers.